Hello and welcome. Welcome to Roller Winter Monday. It's 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time right here in beautiful Lafayette, Indiana, where it is not 100 degrees out. So that's pretty awesome. All right, what's going on? There's a lot going on this week. It's Safe Driver Week right now. Are you being safe? I hope so. This is the week to be safe. There's some update on the I-40 bridge. At least they gave an announcement anyways. That's something, I suppose. Let's talk about Zonar, right? Zonar? There's some hours of service changes that they would like to implement if you're driving with a self-driving truck. Isn't that great? Swift bought AAA Cooper. Yes, there's some other fuel and everything else is going on. All right, so let's see what's going on. And, of course, we want to thank our sponsor today for sponsoring the show, if I could find it. The Crotchless Pig is the sponsor for today. Thank you to the Crotchless Pig. Clothing for all occasions at the Crotchless Pig. So be sure to get your clothing there. Right, so what's going on out there today? Let's see if I can get everything set up here. It's Mr. Plow. Goodness, out of the gate early. Thanks for covering me at the manhole. Well, hey, no problem. That is my pleasure, and thank you very much for that. Today, George H.W. Bush is first today. Not first at the manhole, certainly. Trucker Hershey's here today. Joan Harper, hello. What's happening down there today? Nice. Out today. Certainly better than it has been. Kelly Patterson is here. Al Johns, it's good to see you. Let's see. What am I doing here? My little ball turned here. Eric S., what's happening? Roger Penske is here today from Vegas. Oh, I have the weather for Vegas today. It's supposed to be 111 today. Nice. And there's some information about the heat, too, and trucking. Clayton is here. Does anyone know a company that runs True over the road? All right, so let's see what we can do about that. Let's see. As I go down the list, George Wilson is here today. It's good to see you today. Let's see, where am I going? Oh, Alexandra, hello. What's happening? Sweating it out in the west, certainly. TJ Jones in the Bull of the Woods is here. Top of the morning. Day Cab Gear Jammer, good morning. Afternoon here. Wherever you are across the fruited plain, as the great one would say. Dwight, what's happening? We're bringing the West Coast, West Side. All right, in the house. All right, AKAFU, what's happening? South Carolina headed to Atlanta. Wow. So Ron Deal is here. Let's see here. 9:33. Where is it? 9:33. Yikes. It must be all the way on the West Coast. Trucker Hershey's off till Friday. Man, you take more days off. I swear, you were just off the other day. Nice. What do you get, 3 months off there? Gear Jammer. Greetings from the little room at the clinic at the in Chickasha, Oklahoma, getting Super Trucker DOT physical. Yeah. Do you know how much they are there? People always ask me how much it is. So it's $60 here in Indiana. Any idea how much it costs? I don't pay for it, but I asked them one time here. So just curious. People sometimes ask about that. Good day from Illinois. Eastbound I-74. Oh, not that far. Good. What's going on? Hey, Michael Muller, what's cracking? What's happening? Doing middle management corporate pinhead BS stuff. Yeah, that's what middle management people do. So they keep us under their thumb. Hello, everyone. Sam likes the podcast, so I appreciate that. You know, there's a podcast out, Trucking Answers, the podcast, if you listen to podcasts. There's a few episodes out now and some older ones, and we'll be doing them probably every Tuesday, Friday. And we'll expand that. If people like it, I'll expand. You only get so much... Yeah, the podcast you have to pay for to host. So you only get so much hosting space for a certain amount of money. So I thought, all right, well, I'll see if I can do a couple a week. And if people like it, then I'll up that amount. So that's how podcasts go. A little insider podcast information. Because podcasting is not free. To host it is costs a little bit of money. Not a lot, but a little bit of money. APU or still APU is considered running the truck. Oh, okay, well, good. Werner bought 80% of ECM. Yeah, that's true. Swift buying. Werner bought this place. Everybody's buying a bunch of stuff. That's how they get workers now. They can't get anybody, so they just go buy other companies. Joe Ritchie's here from Holland Enterprises. We'll be here kicking the banter with all today. I hope each of you doing well. Yeah, it's good to see you here today. Let's see. I got Holland over here. If you want to talk directly, right? Operators are standing by. To take your call right now at Holland Enterprises with long loads, and everybody's got to eat, right? And that's the thing about food hauling. No matter economy's good or bad, people have to eat all the time. Always, if you wear it, make it apparent here and everywhere. Alexander, I'm further south than west. I'm a commute away from the Mexico border. Oh, yikes. Well, dos amigos to that. I don't know any Spanish. Let's argue semantics. You sound like a dispatcher. Dispatch. My wife loves me and my crotchless pigs, Uncle D's. They fit great because there's nothing holding you back. That's what they say. So Michael makes great money, right? That's why you can be off all the time. I paid $150 for my physical. Wow. And DOT card, which should come with the physical. Wow. Why did you pay for it? I didn't ask how much the physical is. Okay, I'm just curious. People ask me, wow, $150. Holy mackerel. Good afternoon, Mark. Good afternoon. I guess you could text deduct that. Joe Ritchie, I appreciate what you do, Mark. Hit the roller grill and get the mustard on us. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. And thank you for coming in and answering questions for people every week. We appreciate it, believe me. George H.W. Bush is going to pass through Lafayette on your way back to Fort Wayne, really? Well, watch out for that. There's an accident down to 149 down there on I-65, so be careful of that. It's on the southbound side, but people on the northbound are going to rubberneck it, as they say on the old CB. Do you have a link you can post to the podcast? Yeah, Blueberry. Let's see if it'll go in here. Will it go in here? Oh, here we go. Whenever I start being all crazy like this, things happen. Let me move all my paperwork and see what happens. All right, let's see if that works. I hope so. Anyway, that's something. That went somewhere. That's what it is. And you can get it on any of your podcasting, anywhere where you get a podcast. It's iTunes, it's on Stitcher, iHeartRadio, it's on all these places. So Android podcast, anywhere you go. So get your podcast there. Kelly, what's going on? Kelly Patterson, thank you very much for that. Keep it up. I will. I'm going to try to anyways. We're going Monday by Monday here for probably 3 years now. I hear something about new drivers should obtain their CDL because things are going to get complicated. George Wilson. Yeah, as we get close to that, we'll see how many places, do anything with this and what the law really happens in February. It wouldn't be a bad idea to get it earlier than later, but until that comes down to it, we'll be doing more on that later in the year, certainly. My clock has been taking on-duty yard move as a 30-minute break. Doesn't seem right. Well, you're not driving, so a yard move is not count against your drive time. So, yeah, on duty would be a 30-minute break. That's correct. I don't agree with it personally, but that is how it works. I think driving is driving. So, Fleet Nav Systems is here. Hey, everybody. I'm here for 10 minutes, popping in. Just want to stop in and say, hey, hope you're having a great week. We're doing great over here. It's good to see you, and good to see you on the Geotab land. Round deal. Let's see, where'd we go over here? I got one over here somewhere. Oh, there it is. Fleet Nav Systems, the Geotab experts. How about that? Straight from Michigan, right to you. All right, there, I threw that right in there. You're welcome to use that, no charge. I got some friends that work with AAA Cooper. They're not happy. Rondi, all right, that was the question I was going to have. Do they have to apply to Swift and Night Swift, as they call it? A number of people corrected me. It's Night Swift, Mark. Okay, got it. Do they have to apply, or will they just be absorbed, like throwing a rag into a sink? Or sometimes when places get bought, you have to actually apply, and they may not take everybody. So how's that going to work? Paul Harris, I-95 in South Carolina with 486 miles left for the day. That's a long day. Let's see how much time you could burn up. Some of it, I hope. That's more than I drive in the day. So that's a long day. Yikes. John Harper, what did I miss? Nothing yet, certainly. Joe Ritchie, I'm amazed Swift bought AAA. I think we all see a bunch of these acquisitions in the next year as they struggle to find decent talent. Oh, talent. That's good. If they call drivers talent for the place, of course, then we'd have to get scale. But talent, that's good. Talent, that's true, but that's one way to get drivers, is just buy another company. And then they can say, okay, 20% of your people can't work here anymore. Robert, who would be happy with another company like Knightswift buying their company? Yeah, well, it depends on how small your place is. It may increase the benefits that you get. And if it doesn't change your work and increases your benefits because Swift is such a large place, it might actually not be bad. It depends. Did he skip my question? Maybe. Did I miss a question? What's happening to CDLs in February? There's a new law about training standards that may go into effect in February, with everything that goes on. Who knows? So that's why I haven't put anything out about it yet until we get a little bit closer to it. I don't know all the new details about new drivers getting their CDL. It's a training rule. It won't affect the people getting it as much as it affects the people doing the training. I always edit my yard move to off-duty when I'm done for the day to save on my 70. Michael Muller, yeah, I don't do that at all. I try to use as much of the time as possible up to not have to work more. So I'm not editing work time to off-duty because I think you should get paid for it. So I'm on the other side of that. I'd like to see people edit to everything to back to on duty the way it should be. When the new rule going to effect to get your CDL, you have to go through the school. Well, most people go to school now, really, anyway. How many people today go get their CDL without going to school? John, if you weren't, make it a parrot. Absolutely. Just like this baby says right here. He's already got the idea. You should too. All right, get yourself a blue parrot today. And I lost my page. Okay. Trigger Hershey. Oh, where to work? Oh, well, yeah, a good thing I don't get that question that much. For new people, I do this show every week at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time for the foreseeable future. And people ask me, but, keep the company out of my videos. I just don't see where I work. I think that's a better idea. If you're going to go and be, public in the public like that, don't mention your company or they're going to gripe at you about the stuff that you put online. So it keeps them out of your videos. And I also don't recruit for them. So I could. I'm not doing it. I do think if you like your company, maybe you should recruit for them because they need people right now. But I don't. So that's how we do that. Sam, didn't KLM select who could work for them when they bought Maverick? Well, they certainly could. That's why I'm asking. They don't have to take everybody. They can make everybody apply. Some places do that. They go, you have to apply to us now. And you'd have to go through the whole application process. That's why I'm wondering if Swift is going to do that. And then some places say, all right, we'll just absorb everybody. And you just fill out a few pieces of paper or whatever. But you may not qualify. This is the thing about getting tickets and stuff. So you're at a company that doesn't fire you. Then they get bought by a company that has a more strict policy. And the company you used to work for is no longer there. This new place won't hire you. Now what? Now you're out of a job. Try not to get tickets. Just think of the buying power. Night Sweats. Night Swift, Abilene, Cooper think there's another one. Yeah. Oh, look. They do have a lot of buying power. That's correct. That's correct. And benefits. Swift bought AAA like roadside assistance. Yeah. That'd be funny if they bought roadside assistance AAA. AAA Cooper. Would hate to be a safety manager at Swift with all their acquisitions. Oh, all these people are just going to get put in and have to do that job too. Paul Harris typing errors brought to you by an Apple product. There's your problem, right? I think Knight Swift Group wants an LTL carrier instead of another truckload carrier. They have enough in the truckload. They're trying to get into this shorter, this is what companies say, regional and even shorter hauls to keep drivers. That's what companies are talking about. What are your thoughts on lane assist in trucks? It doesn't seem to matter that much other than the annoying sound. So it depends on what the truck does. If it actually moves the truck around, I think you ought to be able to turn it off. I don't like the sound that it comes out of it with the stupid line thing. I think you ought to be able to turn that thing off. I only want a visual alert in the trucks. And it's funny, the FMCSA just talked this week about automatic equipment like automatic emergency braking, active lane keep and all that. And they were in line with ATA, the ATRI, which is the Transportation Research Institute, part of the ATA, and OIDA about this kind of stuff, that the truck should have this stuff in it and that people just need to get taught about the buy-in on it. The automatic braking on the trucks is horrible. It hits the brakes on road signs and stuff like that. It's stupid. It's complete stupidity. The difference is always the escape, right? I have automatic emergency braking assist. So if it sees a vehicle in front of you, it's got a little radar in the front bumper like a truck does. An alert comes up on the dashboard, which reflects in the windshield, which you can see. It mutes the radio and sends an alarm, but it doesn't do anything. Okay, and this happens occasionally because you'll see a car turning, and it's turning off the road, but the car thinks it's going to hit it, and so you get this, but it doesn't interact with the brakes. If I hit the brakes, they hit automatically. It's ready to put them on full, but the car itself doesn't interact, and that's how the truck should be too. It shouldn't automatically hit the brakes. That's the real problem. A car can only react. It can't expect what's going to happen. It can only react to what it's seeing, and that's the difference of self-driving versus having an actual driver. So if it doesn't interact with you, I'm for it. Otherwise, no. Fleet Nav, technically, you're not supposed to be able to edit an exemption to any other duty status. So if your ELD lets you do that, that one is probably not fully compliant. Oh, so if you're using an exemption, well, is it considered, is that yard move considered an exemption? All right, I guess it is. I was thinking about it. Interesting. Just a gear jammer just peed in a cup. I wonder if that half of Budweiser I drank on graduation night will show up. Haven't had any since then. Oh, I don't know. Well, it wasn't the good Schlitz stuff, so not sure what they'll do about that. Schlitz. Mr. Crowley is here, possibly Sam Crowley. Hello from L.A. It's good to see you, Michael Muller. It doesn't matter to me. I drove 2,000 last week and still got my $1,800. That's correct. Isn't that guarantee beautiful? Is she getting 90 cents a mile? 90 cents a mile. Crazy. There's people at John Christner getting $1.05 and paying a truck payment. Watching this without the video, it's just like some podcasts I listen to, but I can't remember its name. Paul Harris. Hopefully this one, which, that's the best feedback of the podcast is people don't have to look at me. So I only come to you through your ear hole. Mark is the head of the lease operator program at Prime. Yeah, that's, boy, I'd make a ton of money on that, wouldn't I? There's tons of people out there doing that. I think Western Express has made people reapply when they bought SMX, Joan Harper. I see a lot of companies doing that, and you may not qualify. Now what? Of course, who wouldn't qualify for Western Express? I mean, if you go there and you're like, yeah, we don't think so. A lot of farm kids get CDLs without going to truck driving school. Does that still happen? I mean, there aren't that many farms now. There's stores. We don't have to have farms. Everybody has a grocery store, as I always say, living in the city. But are there that many people today, seriously, that are young, let's say 25 and less, since farm kids, right, having learned on a farm and then going to get a CDL using one of their international tractors and a grain hauler or something like that? There cannot be that many people doing it. Sam Western out of Denver grandfather drivers when they acquired a couple companies in the 90s. That's the better way to do it. But how else are they going to get people in the 90s? What'd they pay in the 90s? 13 cents a mile? I think some people forget the e-log computer retains the original notation so it can be examined, Kelly. Yeah, everything is always retained in there, right? It grabs the wheel from you and it makes you mad. So on this new international, okay, so if it's the same as the new Freightliners, it kind of steers you in the road, right? Now I have that on the Escape too, but I have it turned off where it only gives me an alert that I'm over the line because I may want to go over the line for some reason. Yet when you can't turn this stuff off, that's when I don't like it. When you can't turn it off, you can't make a better decision than the truck, and that's not a great way to do it. Why have us? Knight-Swift has owned an LTL carrier for years, Central Truck Lines, but they're not that big. They're around here. Central advertises here heavily in Indianapolis. They're in those yellow trucks around. Yeah, constantly advertise, and it pays good, or at least in the ad it pays good. On the East Coast now, Western Express pulling Food Lion trailers. Really, Food Lion. They have a few of those around here. Oh, AAA is in the trucking company. I'm having one of those days. My brain is not on Monday. What if Swift ran AAA? Of course, do people still use AAA? That's the other thing. Probably should come up with an ejection seat. Nice. Fleet Nav, yard move and PC are both considered exemptions. Oh, okay. So yard move being an exemption, then you can't edit the exemption. Okay, then. I didn't think about it that way. Cassius King Trucking is here. Hey, what's going on? Everybody should go to Cassius King Trucking and subscribe to both channels. How about that? I love it. It's good to see you today. Let's see. There's a lot more that can be seen than what you can see via the driver apps. Oh, yeah, they can see everything from the back room, right? 73 and sunny Minneapolis. Yeah, it's going to be Death Valley today, 126. 126 today in Death Valley. Schlitz is the only beer that tastes better when you throw it up. John Schlitz, it's the king of beers. I got mine in 2010 without school. Chicken hauler. How old were you? Number one, and how did you learn to drive? How did you learn to drive? Saw the Navigo update navigation. Seen AKAFU. No reroute button and cannot manually alter your route. Dispatch is in control. Love it. What's Navigo? Got to head out of here soon. Fleet Nav Systems. Have a great week and be safe. It's good to see you. Thanks for popping in. Knight-Swift does not own Central Freight Lines. Jerry Moyes, the founder of Swift, on Central Freight Lines, and it's only separate from Knight-Swift. Was it ever part of Swift? It seems like at some point they bought it. Am I not thinking of that correctly? And it's Jerry Moyes that owns Central. Western in Denver paid 1.3 cents in the 90s. Yeah, I mean, the only way they could have got anybody would be then. You have AAA, Clayton. Really, there's still people using AAA. That's pretty good. I'm pretty impressed by that. A Kent P. late fee or bribe treat for Gracie. Yeah. You want a treat, Gracie? Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Thank you. She'll get some catnip. AAA's crap, don't even bother with them. Yeah, I mean, doesn't it all come with everybody's car insurance now? Or like your car has it with a warranty and then the car insurance? What's the difference between the Edge and the Escape? They look similar. The Edge is bigger. The Edge is 120 something inch wheelbase. The Escape's Edge is what, 113, 114. I'm thinking the Explorer, and Escape's 106. So an Edge, you can get a bigger engine in it, although they both have the 2-liter available. Edge is one size bigger, and when you open the back up or whatever, it's bigger inside. You can tell the difference. It is bigger. Same options and stuff available in there. My Kenworth and the Bendix system just make sound and doesn't grab the steering wheel, but it does kick off cruise control and hit the brakes. See, that's it shouldn't do that. Or at least you should be able to turn it off in the display, and that's the real problem. Central Freight Lines is different than the yellow truck Central Transport. So I'm thinking, all right, so the yellow truck, aren't they part of Swift, right? Doesn't Swift own them? Am I not thinking that right? Central Transport is part of Swift, right? Am I way off on that? Jason Jefferson, it's a different Central you're thinking about, Central Transport. They are big, but Central Truck Lines is what I was talking about. Okay. All right. So the yellow one is part of Swift, from what I remember. Navigo is Omnitrax Navigation. That sounds horrible. Use your own. Cassius King Trucking. No, Jerry Moyes bought Central Freight Lines after he left Swift. Okay. Oh, all right. So it was never part of them. All right. Cassius King Trucking. Goodness. Thank you very much. Tip your host, you scallywags. I appreciate that. Thank you. And for the information. All right, so I'm way off on this. Someone won't go to the beach and drink beer in the nude. They're too afraid they will get sand in their schlitz. Yes. You got to watch out where sand goes, certainly. Military people use their training record to bypass school. Can you bypass the truck school if you come out at, 88 or whatever the number is for it? But how many people come out of the military and go drive? Some. You think of Dick Simon, which was the name was changed to Central Refrigerated. Yeah, Dick Simon. All right. So there is a Central. So I'm partly right. I'll take a half right on it. Dennis Jones. Hey, Mark, there's a Central somewhere that Swift owns or owned. So you were 22, learned to drive a stick Mack dump pulling a Pendleton hook trailer around subdivisions with my grandfather's excavation company. All right. I would say that's probably unusual. I mean, it's certainly unusual. But okay, I'll give you that. Pat Oaks, love the podcast. Keep them coming. Thank you for all you do. Well, I appreciate it. There's a podcast for those of you that don't know it under the same name. Go to your little podcasting app, whatever you use, and download it. It's available everywhere. I'm going to try for Tuesday, Friday, and if it becomes people like it, I'll do more than twice a week. Right now, probably twice a week is the most I could do under the plan that I have. So, but if people want it, I'll do more of them. AAA more popular than ever. Nobody changes their own tires anymore. Day cab gear jammer. Well, how many times you get a flat in your life? The last tire I changed was probably 15. I came out, I was going to take one of the cats, ironically, to the vet. 14 or 15, I remember that. And I get out my car, and it's got a flat, and the wife wasn't home. And I thought, well, crap. So I had to call them. I remember that. I felt super bad because I was getting ready to go over there. Changed the appointment. Slapped the spare on and took the car to Ford where I got the tire fixed. But that's the last time. I mean, it's sad. If you can't change your own tire, learn how to change a tire. Only mackerel. Unless you have a BMW, which you don't get a spare. And a lot of other cars. George Santa delivering to Texas Tube in Houston. Kind of slow, but the logo's going good and easy to secure. I'll have to do a 34 in the next 2 days. 7 left on my 70. Ugh. Getting 6 and 2 back. Yikes. That's a long week. The BNSF lot looked pretty empty this weekend. What was happening there? Roadside services available on your car insurance at a monthly rate. AAA is a price for the entire year. That's true, but I'm saying, I mean, they have this, I don't have any gas. I'll bring you gas. You have a gauge in your car. Does anyone have any info on Riverside RTI out of Kansas City? I've heard good things about them. Dennis Jones, how are you? I'm doing great. It's awesome here. It's a great day to wake up. Every day is a good day that you wake up and are alive. So always be grateful for that because you never know when there aren't any more of those days. Yellow merged with roadway. Yeah, YRC, exactly. And we are at 6:12 today for YRC. Dennis, good morning, Mark. I was glad I was able to catch the podcast in the middle of my autism dad house husband work schedule. Well, thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Yeah, I know you've got a lot going on over there, believe me. Kevin is here. Central Transport, the yellow one, is owned by the guy who owns the Ambassador Bridge. There's a guy that owns the Ambassador Bridge. Does he collect all the toll money? What do sprinters eat before a race? Nothing. They fast. Ugh. was my DOT physical for the millionth time. $150. Passed it. Oh, wow. $150. Man, is Indiana just awesome? So all they do is hose you on the license plate here in Indiana. Everything else super cheap, I guess. I think they're all in bed together, so to speak, and also not to speak. Military can bypass school, but will have automatic restriction. But there's so many automatics now that it's becoming less and less of a problem. I remember Dick Simon, that was the Western Express back in the day. I remember the skunk. There, every once in a while, you'll see an old trailer that's still got the outline of that skunk on it. You're like, oh, all right. Swift took over MS Carriers, a total miscarriage of trucking. Yeah, 2000. I remember that in 2000. Yes, Swift took over Central Refrigerated, the truckload company, after Central Refrigerated defaulted on a loan. That's how Swift does a lot of this stuff. They loan money out to companies, knowing the company probably won't be able to pay it back, and then they get the company after they default on loans. Isn't there a blitz this week? There is. Right now, you are in the middle of Safe Driver Week. Isn't that great? Are you being safe? They're looking for following too close, speeding, that kind of thing. What time is the podcast? The podcast just goes out at, generally it'll be at a random time on Friday, but you can download it anytime you want it after that. If you subscribe, then when it goes out, it just gets downloaded. That's how I do my podcasts. Like I subscribe, like Car Talk is one of them with Click and Clack, right? The Tappet Brothers. And so whenever their podcast comes out, usually Saturday, it gets downloaded and I listen to it during the week when I'm driving. So that's the best way to do podcasting. You can listen on your time. A cool driving job is Butler, Lester's Pole Building, Lester Prairie, Minnesota. But they are looking for more than a truck driver. Must have construction knowledge. I'm out. I don't have any construction knowledge. When I have a slow day and a slow leak in one of my tires, I will even change a super single while it's still in the truck. Aviator trucker, that's pretty impressive. Usually shop leaves your extra tires laying around. This is great on the weekend. Wow, they would fire me for doing that. I will tell you that. There's no way they want me doing any part of that. And not just because I'm incompetent, but they don't want the liability of that. I took off because of the blitz. Oh, no, I'm like, there's no way you took off because of the blitz. Not, I was going to say, no way. There's no, you can't be the Reverend of Revenue while you're sitting at home. It's no longer YRC. The entire company is just yellow. That's true. They did change again. It's yellow. And the trucks aren't yellow, really. I don't consider that yellow. Shout out to my fellow dad of autistic kids. Nice. I learned how to, Dennis, I learned how to drive a truck working on the farms. Went to trucking school. I got my CDL and endorsements. Man, that was a long time ago. I sure miss working on farms. Yeah, so does Bob Evans down on the farm. I think the DOT physical in Colorado is $50. That's better. All right, this $150 getting crazy. $150 for physical? I'd just rather go to the doctor. My life has changed for the better when I start working 40 to 50 hours a week instead of 70, Mr. Crowley. That's correct, and I agree with you. The 70, 80 hours, and, every study, everybody that does this, whether it's trucking or anything else, it isn't great for you, and the point of life is not to work, certainly. The point of life is to leave a legacy, to do something great. And it's hard to do something great when you're working for somebody else. All these hours, I think. What are they looking for in the blitz again? Speed? They're looking for speeding and following too close, aggressive driving, that kind of thing. Probably a truck with those teeth in the grill. That would be one of them. You don't see those as much anymore. Remember the grill teeth? Work and the wife go to learn her CDL on a stick shift. There's not that many places left. You'd have to call each place and see if they have any stick shifts. Most of the places doing this are automatics. That's why I think certainly within 10 years, it's not even going to matter. We haven't gotten a manual truck in for years. I think there's a couple left, maybe, in the yard, but they're almost all automatics. Very few sticks. And we won't be getting any more in, and that's most places. They're just not buying them. You're only going to get one if you, buy a truck yourself or something like that. Any company is going to, other than Western, probably will be buying automatics. I will love doing 34-hour breaks over the road. Time off to play with your pup, right? Dogs are less than good than cats. That's what that means, right? I'm not a math major. Or go exploring the local city and surrounding areas. That's true. Shout out to my fellow autism dads, the toughest job I ever loved. Yeah, that's got to be difficult, believe me. I don't know, but I'm sure it's hard. Sucks being stuck in a truck for the 34-hour board. N5XLA. That's true. I bet it is. And that's, I try to give people a road job that they want, but I do encourage people at some point, to decide that about life, certainly. I'll throw Joker face on the grill too. Oh, right, the Joker face. Those I haven't seen since the 70s. You can get a DOT physical sometimes at the VA for free if your primary care doc is certified and registered. Oh, and yours is You know what? I'm going to ask. There's a couple Marines at work. I'm going to ask them if they do that. I don't think so, though, because the company pays for it here. I never thought about that. We have a VA here in West Lafayette. So we'll see about that. Best time of day has got to be 6:30, hands down. All right. Shoot, my DOT physical is free, paid for by the company. Creature. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're free. But I was curious. Some people will ask me how much it is. Because if you're in between jobs or whatever, I tell people, keep up your physical if you expect to keep your license. Cash King Trucking. I'm at home, spent all morning building a sick Hot Wheels ramp. I love those. Part of the Biden Buttigieg infrastructure plan. Oh, is that part of human capital? Oh, yeah, and we completed it ahead of schedule and under budget. Well, I know it's obviously not a government program then. Yellow freight colors DuPont Swamp Holly Orange. It's probably a color that only they use. Only company that still has stick shifts is heavy haul kind of work and Western. Every once in a while you'll see somebody, I think Smith, right? Don't they have some sticks too? They're getting some in. There's not that many left. Look for some company running Pete's. They probably have them. Should the cops be looking for speeding and following distance all the time? I'd love to get rid of these truckers who push traffic. Kelly, that's what I wonder too. They're like, oh, we're going to be looking for speeding and aggressive driving. I'm like, what do you do the rest of the year? Is this not something like normal? And then I thought, oh, are you ignoring all the other violations then? We're going to ignore all the DUIs so we can get people that are speeding. I mean, really? My doctor wants to do blood labs every year, so I do the DOT physical at the same time. That's convenient. I'm going to the same place. Lab is different here because we go to some industrial place here. I won a few standard transmissions at my company. We're going all automatic. Sam, exactly. Right? I mean, people they're not going to be any sticks left. Kind of like cars. There's so few cars that are sticks. My company will still keep about 10 to 20% of our fleet with manuals. That's unusual. That surprised me because the new T680 have stick shifts available. Look, Cascadias have them available. If you go on, because I tried to price one out, you can go on to Freightliner and you can spec a stick shift in your Cascadia, but it comes with an automatic. You gotta order the manual. TJ Jones in the Bowl of Woods, the GP Transco in the chat. I haven't seen them yet today. Sometimes they have meetings or whatever they're doing over there, so never know. In heavy haul, they'll never go automatic. Right. So you can always get into that, get yourself a nice 18-speed. I just paid $90 in California. That's not bad. Day cab gear jammer. I'm shocked it isn't the most expensive one. Yeah, $90 is a bargain. For California, I thought it'd be $500 a year. 34 hours, what's that? Home daily, right, Mark? I know. I wouldn't go back. A lot of people say they would go back, but I wouldn't because, I find the time off to be better time. I do think people that are 21 should go on the road for 5 years at least and live in that truck. Okay. And then after that, you can make a better decision. So I hear you though. I hear you. GP Transco's like Beetlejuice. You have to say their name 3 times. That's true. Once you say it a few times, then boom, here they go. Do you know what's worse than having to pass the slow prime? Being in a slow prime truck and not being able to pass the slow prime truck. Well, for some reason, the trucks do go faster. I know that because I've seen them going 68 miles an hour. They just don't. They just won't go faster because it's pounded in people's heads. So, but I've caught them on the radar thing going 68. They've passed me 65. It's rare, but they do pass occasionally. I guess they're late maybe for something. Heard Volvo's working on a heavy haul I shift. Yeah. They're going to they'll have one that's rated. Plus they have an I shift for their big engine, right? The 600 and some horse. You can get an automatic in that thing. With 2,400 torques or whatever, Jason. I got to pay for everything, so if I could save $1, I sure am going to. I agree with you. Look, if it's free that way, absolutely. But I'm just seeing this 150 and getting a little nervous. More money to be made in automatic. Is there to fix them? But you save money in the fuel. My Cascadia averages 9. That was a bad dad joke. 6:30 hands on the best time of day. Boo, boo. I don't get it. I guess I don't get it. It's so bad of a joke, I don't even get it. Heartland still buys 10-speed sticks. Most of their trucks, really? Even in with their buddies over there? Europe has nothing but manual cars and diesel cars that you can't get here, too. I love my DT12. Love being lazy and just pulling down to switch to activate the Jake. Yeah. 34 hours. What's that? I'm home for 2 or 3 days a week. Okay, me too. I'm home 2-3 days a week also. DOT physical is $75 at a place I go to in Pennsylvania. That's not terrible. When I saw 3 digits, I thought, wow, this is getting crazy. But most company drivers, I think most company drivers get them free. It's crazy that knowing how to drive a manual truck is even a thing. I used to scoff at it until I got to drive an automatic, and I have to admit it was kind of sweet. Look, I like the automatics. I can drive a manual, but I'll take an automatic one. I'll take any truck that they give me. Do you give YouTube classes? I can't get the dang text on the tile. Dang text on the tile. Look, write to me with the question. I don't exactly know what text on the tile. I don't even know what you're talking about. So, write to me with your specific question. I'll be happy to help you. I believe Prime only allows lease and owner-operator to crank their speed up to 68. There's no way to know, though, right, on the truck? I know I've seen some of them pass me very occasionally going 68, and I'm like, oh, that guy's got it going on. When I was out over the road, I used to try to make sure to do a 34 somewhere I wanted to be, like Vegas or on the beach, Jason. Well, that's a good way to do it, too. You kind of get a vacation here and there if you can time your 34-hour out somewhere, and the company will let you leave the truck. Clayton, it's because y'all keep burning clutches and $6,000 to replace. Too much if you can't find it, grind it. Absolutely. I hear that all the time. Kids want to text and drive, can't text, drive, and shift gears. I know you need an extra hand for that. So that's why we got to have an automatic so we can continue to text and drive. What manual options do they offer in the Cascadia? I know when I went on the Freightliner site, I saw that you didn't have to get the automatic. You could custom order a manual on the truck. Because it had the whole Detroit package was one thing. You could click it and it got the engine, the transmission, and the rears, the whole, I forget what they called it, Detroit something or other, together. Or you could order basically whatever you wanted on it, but you had to special order. Automatics is just another step towards automation, 100%. Sure, they got to have an automatic to automate it. I agree with you. Prime company trucks are governed at 58 and 62 on cruise. Oh, nice. You get to cruise it up to 62. 58 on the pedal? I average the same as you do, Mark, fuel mileage of my stick, Robert. Yeah, okay. 9, that's pretty good. That's good. An FAA physical is identical to a DOT, except it's $250. Could you, Fred Zeppelin, which I love, Zeppelin and FAA physical. So, possible Zeppelin pilot. Could you just take a DOT physical and submit that as an FAA physical? Raider Express is governed at 55. Oh, I know. They're so slow. I'm glad they don't have more trucks. At least they don't have a lot of trucks. Every once in a while, I'll see one of those. I'm like, holy mackerel. Even Prime is like, well, this truck get going? I can't drive an automatic with my injuries because it makes my legs go all crazy. Oh, really? Quit flying. Yeah, go to ultralights. You don't need a license then. A trucking company such as GP Transco would get and retain many more drivers if they had a percentage of their fleet in manual. Really? They won't do it, and neither will other fleets. I don't know. I don't know about that, because when we went to automatics and they go, everybody's going to go to automatics, a number of drivers, older drivers, those drivers, right? I'll never drive an automatic. They're all here. None of them quit over it. So I don't know if that's going to be a thing or not. Maybe somebody wouldn't come there. I kind of doubt it. I don't know. Drivers talk a lot that they won't do stuff, but they'll do it. Sunday rant on Prime going downhill at 58, Trucker Hershey. But they got the over-under set at 0. So the truck gets a Jake. Oh, also some companies have set so brake lights come on with the Jake. Yeah, which is not a bad idea. I thought, you know what? Why would you over-under it at 0 going 58 miles an hour? Let's roll. You should have turned the cruise off and let's roll this truck down to 65. It's free fuel. Please give me a link. You'll represent me in court next week. I will not be able to represent you in court. You can email me. You'll have to call your local FAA. There we go. Right, FMCSA field office near you for court representation. But I'll be happy to help you with this tile thing. Sierra England should take out the passenger seat and replace with 2 more bunks. I'm surprised it doesn't have one of those wider seats. Like we have a couple of Freightliners. It's got a really wide seat next to it. I'm thinking, and it's got 2 seat belts. Like, where would you have 2 people in that truck? If they get the speed limiter bill passed, can you imagine all the drag racing trucks trying to pass each other in blocking lanes? Yeah, even more than now, right? Oh my gosh. It's bad enough as it is. Can you still get a new Cascadia with a 10 or 13 speed? You can still get it. Yes, you can, right. That, by the way, they won't let you see the price. It's just contact your dealer. They hide the options for the other transmissions deep in the brochure. Kenworth offers a 9, 13, 15, and 18 speed. Yeah, so you can still get them if you want them. In the industry, the loss of manual transmissions means the loss of good quality, experienced drivers. We're better at handling a bigger rig in adverse conditions. Better mileage is a fallacy. Okay, I mean, it is easier to drive. And the thing is, nobody quit over it. Do drivers quit over it? Maybe. I just didn't see people quitting. This is not something you would quit over, I don't think. A lot of people talk but won't walk their talk. That's exactly correct. The first automatics were horrible. Now, Jeff, when they first came out, and I think Werner, or not Werner, maybe US Express, one of these companies had them. Oh, yeah, they were terrible. They were terrible. They wouldn't shift and all that. You'd see all kinds of complaints. They're much better now. Probably like it wasn't a car. I've been out here 20 years, and I used to be all talk like that, and now what am I doing? I'm driving an automatic. Dennis, exactly. I mean, is it worth quitting? Let's ask that. Is it worth quitting? Say you have a manual, and they go, you're going to get an automatic. Are you going to quit your job over that and go somewhere else? I don't think so. That's not worth quitting. The on-ramp to Route 309 in South Pennsylvania was closed today, and it was a 20-mile detour. Wow. I would call my company and say somebody needs to pay me 20 miles if I'm getting paid by the mile. Turn the cruise off and let it roll. That's smart. Truck Hershey. Where's the trainer in this truck? Isn't that, because that's basically what they do there, right? So where was the trainer? Probably sleeping. Somebody should have either been taught that, or if you're owning the truck, you ought to better know that. Let that truck roll down those hills. That's all free money for you. Kenworth has the brake lights come on when the Jake or engine compression brake comes on at a certain speed, Robert. It's not a bad idea. But that truck should have rolled to 65 easy. You could roll it all the way down to the off-ramp there without any brakes. So when you get the Detroit engine transmission all as one package, that's how you get it. The I next to the Cascadia stands for integrated. Cassius King. Yeah, that's how ours are, and that's how I see a lot of them. I didn't realize that's what the I meant. It's a whole, they get the whole thing together for best performance or whatever. So now you are no longer considered gear jammer. You're considered a stalker selector. That's about it, right? D and go. But how many people go to work in a manual? Not many. Some percentage. But if you go around the yard, most of the vehicles sitting there are automatics. Jordan, COVID is a hoax. Okay. King Trucking. Pete 579 are like a Kenworth. Brake lights on when Jake engages. All right. That's a good idea. That's not a bad idea. All those dead bodies might disagree with about COVID being a hoax. Fair enough. Took a trip to Nebraska. I saw more trucks in the median in July than in January. It's always worse in the summertime. People in the winter are cautious. They're much more cautious, I think. I see more people off the road in the summer as well. There's a huge accident down here. As of a little bit earlier today, this closed like at midnight last night, 20 miles south of me here on 65 going south. It wasn't open at 11 this morning. So there was a bunch of trucks in the construction zone, and it was raining heavy last night. I guess they landed the helicopter out there and everything. IU Hospital here in Lafayette has a helicopter on the roof waiting. Mark, if you had to choose a place to send a friend's son to get his company training, George Costanza. Depends. Maybe I don't like him. Well, maybe his son's an idiot. What company would you recommend? It seems like Sierra England is the easiest to get into. It might be. I certainly wouldn't send anybody there because they're going to send him there on a Greyhound. So no. Absolutely not. I would tell him to go to his state and get the training free from the state. Have the state pay for it, and he goes to private school near his house and gets his training through a grant. That's the way to do it. Then he can choose where to go. No, Mark, it's not worth winning. There is a setting to make brake lights come on with the Jakes. Up to the company or driver if enabled. Trucker Hershey, they don't let us change any settings in the truck. It's not worth quitting. Right. I order my trucks with extra pepperoni and cheese. Prime doesn't need brake lights. It already seems like they're stopped when I'm passing them. Yeah. Some people, right. And there's been more of them out lately, too, I noticed. Are they back on the road? For a while, there were no Prime trucks around. And now they're everywhere. Trucking with T-Bone. Hey, what's going on? Cassius King Trucking. The eye on the Cascadia is like the gold dog on the Mac. Oh, is that what they're trying to be? They're like, oh, well, it worked for Mac. And by the way, Volvo, Mac, which is part of Mac and all, they're still on strike over there in Virginia. They just had another vote, and they're still on strike. D for drive and R for race, except P for performance here doesn't work on our trucks. Hey, Cash, how's the one-box issues? Are they better or worse now? If someone going to quit over an engine or transmission, good riddance. I don't think that's a reason to quit a job. that the company won't buy you a manual truck, I don't think that's a reason to quit your job, certainly. If it's good otherwise, like you like working there, but we're getting all brand new trucks, but they're automatics, no, I don't think you quit for that. The brake light on the Jakes is automatically on by default. I turned it off. Maybe mine goes on. I don't know. I use them all the time. I'll check. I hate having to swap trucks after I start my day. Our incompetent chop didn't fix a small air leak. I was pulling with my first load on, and on comes the air pressure buzzer and doesn't go off. Chicken holler. I agree with you. That's why I only leave a pen in the truck. And one that I don't even care if I lose. I don't leave anything in the truck. Gloves, anything, because I've had the truck where it's gone somewhere, and they call you, go, oh, your truck broke down in another state. Your truck broke down in Ohio. I'm like, why is it in Ohio? Oh, well, we sent it out and it broke down. And so then, it may be 2 weeks before you get the truck back. So don't leave, if you're in a truck, even if it's your truck, don't leave anything in the truck. That's what I tell people if you're not in the truck. And that's at every company. Dennis, when I drove for the Lindy Group, you couldn't let the truck roll. The computer would knock off points to your driving performance if you went 1 mile an hour over the speed limit. Well, you know what? Lindy can go kiss my butt. How about that? That's stupid. If they think they can drive the truck better, why don't they go and drive it? Knock points off your performance. How about knock points off of this? Collision sensor only available in the automatic transmissions. I'm just sick of that kind of stupid stuff. Sick of it. Collision sensor only available on automatic. That's why manufacturing limiting manual transmissions. Oh, Hansley. Well, so once they pass these laws with these automatic emergency braking and all that, you won't be able to get one at all. Why not? Why can't they have that on the manual transmission trucks? Gracie wants to know too. What? What are you talking about? They don't have this on manual transmission trucks? She thinks they should. She certainly thinks they should. Just saw a driver start his shift, get in the truck, drove off without doing a pre-trip. Maybe he was in a hurry. Oh, yeah. I'm too busy to check my truck to see if there's anything wrong with it at all. I remember Swift had an overspeed set on the Qualcomms. If you went over 68, you could be fired. Prime is probably set up at 58. So if you went over 68, you are fired? There are speed limits that are more than 68. What kind of stupid thing is that? They should fire you if you're unsafe. Unsafe. Not if you go over 68. That's complete stupidity. Raider Express is the slowest 60 top speed, but encouraged to run 58 or less. Wow. Yeah, Prime encourages drivers to do that. I know that they do encourage them to do it. And it would get you better fuel mileage. I can imagine getting 12 going 58 miles an hour. One thing that's really irritating to me is a drop and hook and a driver dropped a trailer off, not at the 41 foot. See several trailers rolling past the 41 foot mark when I was only one taut tandem axle length. It depends on the state. All right, that does aggravate me. I do a drop and hook every day, so I run 2 trailers a day, and it does aggravate me. But some states don't care, and some states are longer than that. So it just depends. When I see them all the way back, though, that's aggravating. And when I retire, it'll be over the automatic transmission for my previous statement. Oh, look, fair enough. Look, if you want to leave for that, I agree. I just personally don't think it's a reason to leave trucking because of a manual versus automatic. I don't. Joe Ritchie, please quit if you do not like our automatics. I'd rather a driver of a job they want. Good luck finding a standard carrier with good pay and miles. Joe Ritchie from Holland Enterprises. I agree. There's probably a few that we don't know about. I mean, there's thousands of companies. But I don't think, if the truck is safe, decent truck, air works, right, it's a good truck, and it has an automatic, to me, that's not a reason to quit. If you like the company otherwise, I don't know. Coming for a truck, I don't know. I don't think that's a reason to quit. Is that Freightliner trying to mimic Packer with their all-inclusive package? Yes. Plus, it's easy to order. One click and everything was on there. I think the brake lights coming on when the Jake is a good idea. It's a visual cue for vehicles behind to slow down. Yeah, I'm with you, right. I said, Lindy, your driver performance points were dinged if you weren't in the computed RPM on every shift. Oh, my God. If you got too close to the lines in the road every time you use the brakes. All right, now there's a reason to quit. Driver performance points because I'm not in the computed RPM on every shift. Well, then put an automatic in the truck. You get too close to the lines in the road? What if there's something in the road? I'm trying to go around a pothole. I know every hole from here to including the manhole, from here to the natty. All right, so sometimes I'm around or whatever. Oh, my gosh, that place can just get lost. Don't get it, Mark. 6:30 is the hands on the clock are both facing down. Hands down. Oh, all right. Right. I haven't had a clock in so long that I don't know what you're saying. So, okay. Right, a clock. Tandems push all the way back to the ICC bar is not the proper 41 foot. That's true. It should not be all the way back. Some of them have a mark on the side of them. Some of ours say 41. Some say 40 feet on it. And then some don't say anything. And I saw one that said 45 on it once. I'm like, where does this trailer go? No, I have the collision system on my manual transmission. Why couldn't it be on there? Central Refrigerated was the one acquired by Swift. I feel so dirty not doing a pre-trip. It depends how the last time somebody drove it, but gee whiz, can you get out there? And Zonar is going to take care of that for us anyways. I don't think they're trying to copy with the integrated package because it's just good business. And Mac was doing it in the 80s, so they all copy Mac. Yeah, look, it's one click on the Freightliner site, right? Bingo, click it. Oh, yeah, oh, the whole truck's set up for you. Jerry, I work for a great carrier and good miles and home every week for 2 to 3 days. All right. I do think there's some that would give you a good truck, but I wouldn't quit or go to a place just because of that. I thought the collision prevention was going to send me to a jackknife locked down on a wet road. I know. That's the problem with it. It should not engage. It should only give you an alert. I hear some drivers let it roll to 80 where the speed limit is 80. Yeah, why not? I would too. If the company would let me, and I would. It's free fuel. Getting service work done on my truck is a pain. We don't have a shop on site, so I always have to plan it in my route. That would be a problem. Or drivers not checking for flat tires and not reporting them. I get that all the time. Get it all the time. I picked one up one time. The most it had 3 flat tires. I'm like, well, no way. Raider Express needs a safety light in the back like agricultural equipment and a flag. Aviator ultralights, including power planes that are 2-seaters, now required to have an FAA annual. Jeez. Is there anything the government will actually let you do without going to ask permission? I'm not a company driver. Do you know my truck mods? I don't either. Who cares? I'm a company driver. Well, it says that on the display. So, and I like to see it because now that I'm driving this International over the Freightliner, I'll tell you, the International has lost a mile per gallon over the Freightliner. I think that's interesting. It's set up different. It's a 10-speed automatic, and it turns 1350 at 65. The Freightliner that I have goes 1175 at 65 in a 12-speed, and this one is struggling to get 8. Those sensors desensitize drivers to becoming less efficient and more relying on the sensors. That's what happens, and they said that same thing about cars, that they studied people, and people that have only driven cars with all these different warnings, you know, they don't look like people that have only driven cars with backup cameras and warnings don't look as much when they're backing up. So eventually it's going to make people less safe. I let my truck roll up to 75 or 80 in some areas, give or take for road or weather conditions. Yeah, right. Let it roll. Let it roll. Look, isn't that what it says going down into California on 80? Hey, let it roll. Keep those brakes cool. All right, I'm in. Cash is king. Most drivers say I'll never drive an automatic. Then they try an auto and never go back to a manual. I know. They're like, oh, wait a minute. This isn't so bad after all. It works just like my car. Sensors drive the truck. It's supposed to be every driver drives the truck. I watched one guy push trailer back so hard he broke the stopper bar and pushed the trailer right off the chassis. Oh, brilliant. That's awesome. Al John's knock points off of this. Yeah, exactly. I mean, come on. Oh, well, you're over the line. You lost 3 performance points. Oh, yeah, point this up. My friends at Creek got a 20. I wouldn't. That's worth quitting. Got, and do they still do that? Got a 22 Kenworth on the manual. Won a 25 they ordered out of 1,200. Wow. Think they got the 10 speeds because the manufacturer might have ran out. Oh, I bet it's a 10 speed. If you're going to order a manual in it, let's order a 13 speed. Jordan Shackelford is a stopper bar for sliding tandems. I couldn't find one at the Loves. Hey, I need a stopper bar. I got a lot of points. They're over by the helmets. One last thing about the Lindy Group is in addition to cameras in the trucks, I can imagine, and job sites. What do you mean on job sites? So they have cameras set up on the job sites? Transportation supervisors are required to spying you from unidentified cars and in the bushes. So is this the person that was in the bush, you know, for Kennedy? I mean, so there's somebody like in the bushes. Are they in a ghillie suit sitting there? And you see it moving around. It's like a camera lens pointing out of it. Who would work for a place like this? I mean, this sounds horrible. It's bad. I mean, it's bad enough the way it is. This is complete horrible. You no longer have to have an FAA medical. It can be substituted with a general physical. The forms are on the FAA website. My I-2017 Peterbilt 10-speed manual goes 1350 at 70. That would be better. Look, 1175 at 65 is better for fuel mileage, and I'm getting a mile per gallon. But again, like this other person said, I don't necessarily care. I'm not paying for it, but I would order, if I was buying the fuel, I'd order the most fuel-efficient truck I could. So why they have this 10-speed International is just beyond me. Most drivers who say I don't like automatics never drove one. Depends on the automatic. The one in the International is horrible. Okay, this 10-speed is pretty much horrible. Coming up to a red light, it's got the same problem that a lot of them do. Light turns, I step on it, nothing happens. The 7 is blinking. The 7 for 7 gear just blinks. I'm like, oh, well, this is great. Let off, step on it, nothing. Blink. I actually had to put it in neutral and then put it back in drive. Then it caught and took off. This thing has 130,000 miles on it. It's a 19. So it isn't like an old truck or something. So that kind of thing shouldn't happen. If you have a trailer not marked, your fifth wheel is 3 feet from the header board. You now have 50 feet. That's true. Take a tape measure and measure back 9 feet to 41 feet. There we go. 50 minus 9 is 41. Of course, it's a 10, so the 13 is too much. It's for cheap greed. Well, I guess I couldn't. A large company like that wouldn't order 13 speed. They wouldn't get that many people that would want it. Getting in a different truck every day is the worst part of home daily. I agree with that. I wouldn't like doing that. Right, I get the same truck unless it's all broke down or whatever, mostly. But every day a different truck. I'd be on the company then to make sure the truck was clean, not leaving a bunch of garbage in it, and that everything worked. So, and they don't like me when I walk in there, they know there's a problem. If I got to drive over there during the day when they're open, they know there's some kind of issue, and they're like, crap, there comes Mark. I was looking at cars like CarMax, Cash King Trucking, and I put in a manual transmission. The website literally laughed at me. Yeah, they go, what is that? CarMax. They go, we'll deliver it. Automatic is all I have ever driven, and I love it. Jordan, yeah, there's no problems with them. Who do you work for? It's always good to hear about great companies. I agree. I run a 1350 at 75 with 18 speed and 308. That's even better for fuel mileage. So if you weren't going 65, you should get great mileage with that, right? I remember way back when big trucks started getting power steering. I heard the same thing. Drivers said they weren't safe because you couldn't feel the road. All BS, and nobody quit. Boy, I had an air steer truck. I never had a manual steering truck other than at truck school. The white Road Commander we had did not have anything. And then later I had a couple of air steer trucks where the power steering was air assisted. So as you would back in, if you weren't good at it, which, starting out, you'd run out of air. You turn the wheel and the air runs out because you're using the air. So if the wipers are on and turning the wheel, you run out of air. You got to sit there and rev the truck up just you get back in. The Lindy Group was taken over by another German company, the Messer Group, and the former Lindy drivers I kept in touch with told me it's worse. How could it be worse? Oh my gosh. From a German company, what could make it worse? Jose Franco's here. Hey, what's going on? Robert works for Big G Express. All right. Pablo, what's up, Mark? 13, 15, and 18 were my favorite. I'll take a 13 on the road all day if they give it to me, but I won't quit for an automatic. I quit one company because of slip seating. Kelly, that might be a reason to quit. If every truck you got was a bunch of garbage, either garbage in the truck or it was like the truck I showed on here with problems and the company won't fix it, that gets so irritating that you quit. See, it's usually not pay. Companies are all raising pay. That's not the problem they need to solve. They won't solve the real problem. I learned not to use your jakes when you're hauling doubles. My underwear was so far up my butt I couldn't poop myself. That would be a problem. I wonder if the vehicle's in the middle of the interstate out on the grass or drawing a median income. Oh my gosh. Drawing a median income. Yikes. Let's see, where did I go off to? The cat had to come out for that. I'm also on the dedicated lane that goes right by my home, Robert. That's the way to do it. FMCSA should go to a company lot and check for pre-trips being done. Oh, I totally agree, Mr. Crowley. There are some places where the DOT should go right into the company and do something. Totally agree. Slip seating a sleeper truck is nasty, George Costanza. That I wouldn't do. If I'm going to slip seat a sleeper, it needs a new mattress. I want a mattress, so I'm going to sleep in the truck. But honestly, to sleep in the truck, that's why one of the main reasons I don't like Walmart. I'm not slip seating a truck I have to sleep in. That does not happen. Okay, that I demand a dedicated truck for me if I'm going to live in the truck. Now, I understand companies where you're out, like Dot Foods, right? You're 4 days on, 4 days off. All right, so I get that the truck's going to be used by somebody else. But if I'm going to live in the truck, like many people gone for weeks or whatever, I expect that to be my truck. I'm living in that truck. Looks like Melton is going to go to Freightliner. So I'll say, all right, that's okay. At least I'm okay with it. I heard good things about Big G, employee owned. Rarely see Big G Express on apps from drivers, so it must be a decent place. Sweet. I like Volvos because they're Swedish, except they're made here. They make the Volvos here. They're on strike right now. They're 3 weeks out. They keep voting the new contract down. Chicago made me love automatics. The traffic is stupid. Yeah, no doubt. Right. That's where, years ago I wish I would have had an automatic then. Of course, with a 5-speed Mac, you don't have to shift much. When I was up there, you saw a Melton Freightliner the other day? The only pickup available with a manual is a Tacoma. You can still get a 6-speed. Yeah, even the pickup trucks are going to automatics. You can get a couple of cheapy cars with a manual. I was a liquor store shipper in Long Island. I think 80% of the trucks were Big G. Oh, yikes. When I drove, I loved the automatics in Dallas rush hour. Exactly, Joe, exactly. They're automatics good for all that kind of stuff. And if it shifts good, I'm in. I've only asked a company to have a safe truck, where I want to expect air conditioning to work and stuff like that. And that's not left a disaster by another driver. If it's an automatic or manual, I'm okay with it. If it's a hot dog is a sandwich, is a taco a sandwich? Or is a hot dog a taco? Hot dog would be meat between two pieces of bread. So, yeah. They even sent my mother a get well plan when she had an operation and gave a whole week off without any questions asked. That's nice. That's pretty good. I just ordered a Pete 579 Ultra Loft 565 with an 18-speed. Wow. I'd love to see a picture of that truck. How long is it going to take to get that truck? If you ordered the thing. Jason, being a local driver, getting stuck in stop-and-go traffic in an automatic is the way to go. Even if you're a road driver, getting stuck in traffic with an automatic is the way to go, right? It doesn't matter what you're doing. The FMCSA is going to replace the orange warning triangle to go for slow-moving vehicles with the Prime logo. But we won't know. Is it Prime? Is it Amazon? I mean, do you mean the Amazon? Who knows? I wish a court would let us know what that is. We normally have the same truck unless it's getting serviced or breaks down, like mine today. It's normally fine, but throw a fit to get in my truck and it smells like an ashtray. No, that I won't tolerate. They'll have to clean it. I actually had that happen a number of years ago here. I had a truck and they're like, go take that truck. I'm like, I opened the door. I shut the door. I'm like, no way. Oh, you have to take it. I go, no smoking in the trucks. That's not happening. I said that I'm not going anywhere in that truck. You can clean it or I'm going to go home. That's always my answer here, or I'll go home. I got a different truck. One hot dog taco. Well, I know it's for lunch. A hot dog taco wouldn't be a bad deal. We drive Volvo CNGs here at Frito-Lay. What do you think about filling up a CNG? There's a CNG, if you get up, anybody going by, exit 168 on I-65 down here in Lafayette. The gas station down there has CNG pumps. So how long does it take to fill that up? No power. Well, they could turn that up, it would seem like. If you get a job, Cassius King Trucking out at Big G out of Shelbyville, do me a favor, go there and tell them you're going to turn the truck speed up to 75 because you own it as the employee. Very good. I own this place. I'm turning my truck up since I'm an owner. I can't stand this Peterbilt steering. It's terrible. Ride quality is terrible and lots of noise. That stinks. I'd put some carpets down in a road truck. That's not a bad idea. Get some carpet shards or whatever from your local Empire and just cut them to fit and put them around. That actually helps with sound deadening. Put them on the dashboard and everything. Yep. Mr. Beaner's here, marking everyone. I'm on way to Pennsylvania with 12 deliveries. Wow. Cassius King Trucking just smiled as like, oh, I love it. The union members of the Volvo plant are trying to get to replace their union now. Most of the workers are working elsewhere to make ends meet. The union bosses at the plant supposedly are endorsing these contracts, and they go for a vote, and then all the members vote it down. Why do you have people representing you that really don't represent you? That's my question. What's the nicest truck you've ever driven during trucking? I love Western Stars. Quiet, solid, good-looking truck. Had a Western Star. Love it. A Western Roadstar. This would have been in the 90s. I don't remember what it was called. Cash King Trucking, swing by Diesel Doctor and pumping up my big truck to triple digits. The Diesel Doctor My last company ran 72. Nice. Same Cascadia truck I have now at 65. Same fuel mileage. Depending on terrain, slower trucks take longer to get to Constantine, takes more fuel and time, same results. That'd be interesting to see. How much fuel does it use over time? April to June. Wow. Hot dog is inserted into a single bun, not a sandwich. Is inserted into a single bun, not a sandwich. Well, it's between two pieces of bread. It's enrobed with the bread. How about that? Cash. I do 67 to 7 in my big G truck. I didn't know they went that fast. Penelope. That's Penelope. You could manually shift an automatic if it's that big of a deal. Well, I can't. They won't let the truck go in manual. So depending on your company, you can manually shift your truck. Ours, they have it disabled. Mine was the last truck I drove, which was a 2021 Kenworth W990. Nice. And the Cummins 565. Yikes. And an 18-speed. Once I ran the kinks out of it. Beautiful truck. Yeah. But holy mackerel, that truck is huge. I got to send new pictures. Yeah, well, that one worked out good with this thing, though. That picture. Tony 5000. CFI bought part of UPS. Any idea how that will affect CFI in the industry when purchase is complete? Hope wages increase. Well, you'll get more UPS freight. I could see that. You're going to be going to UPS facilities. It's probably not bad. I've never driven a Western Star. They look nice. Yeah, that place I drove for in Hodgkins, Illinois, Park Ridge Transport. They had one. That's the name of that place. It was mostly local, but you know what? They had a couple of road trucks, and one of them was a Western Star. Chicken hauler, I may not get to catch the show for a while. Got to go play Army for 6 weeks. All right. That's awesome. Well, we'll see you when you get back. I'll be on vacation next week, and someone will be using my sleeper. I put no smoking signs up. What would you do if you came back and smelled smoke? I'd make them clean it. I would make them have the truck cleaned. I better not smell smoke or I'm not driving it. That's my policy. It has been for a long time, and that's it. You don't smoke in the truck, period. You don't smoke in a truck I'm going to drive. And it doesn't matter if it's even my truck here. If I came in and my truck is at the shop or it has to go to the shop and they go, take this truck and it's smoked out, I'm not driving it. It's just as simple. You got to draw a line somewhere, and that's my line. I get sick in a few minutes, really, of it. I'm sick in a few minutes. Even with the window, crack the window. No. How about don't smoke in the truck? So, and I'm just not going to do that. I'll just go back home. I tell them, look, I'll just go home. I don't care. And I'll tell them, look, and I expect to get paid for it. And if not, we're going to call headquarters and we're going to talk about it that way if I don't. And they always find me a new truck. But here's the thing. I've been here a long time. And I will go home and do it. They know I'll do it. You got to be willing to do it. If you're going to put something out there, you got to be willing to do it. I'll turn right back and go home. I don't care. I'll be home in 5 minutes. I go, look, I'll be home before you get the truck out of the yard. I don't care. I don't care. So they know I don't care. And that I would call them in. I've done it before. I've called the place in. And so I will. But if you're not willing to do it, you got to tolerate it. So are you willing to do it? Does it matter enough to you that you'll do that? To me, it does. What's your RPM at 65? I thought one was 1295 was too low. Oh, no, mine's 1175. If it's low on hilly roads, your mileage goes down. My previous truck was 1425. That's super high anymore. Holy mackerel. 1425. Yikes, the car's like 1700. Everybody's wages are going up, but that's because of hyperinflation. Sweet. Well, look, I read a thing about it that said, hey, people are all happy. Hey, my wages are going up. Yeah, I'm like, you're an idiot. All the prices are going up. Today, gas, 303 here today. Western Star's my next purchase? Good. Go get classy with it. The National UAW is telling the local officials to make these deals and trying to force the workers to accept the contracts. That is the real story. Well, the workers shouldn't accept the contract, certainly, if they don't like it. Miles per gallon is based more on, they can all go Uber. The mile is based on freight weight and terrain versus speed. 48,000 of lumber out of Oregon to East Coast is going to get 5. It depends what you're hauling and its shape. All this hot dog talk is making me hungry. Cash is King Trucking. Yeah, that also happens at the manhole. People say that almost the same thing. The Hool is here. All right. MO poops in the truck. A lot of people do that, unfortunately. If you're over the road in the same truck all the time, your pre-trip should get quick and easy if you do the first one right. That's true, but you could catch something. Zonar, a place called Zonar, is going to change the way you do a pre-trip. How about that? So your little tablet or whatever in the truck, and I don't know if they'll have this as a phone thing too. They might. They're going to actually put QR codes or RF readers around the truck, and you'll have to tap your device, right, to that. Either tap it to it or take scan the QR code, and that'll at least prove you walked around the truck for pre and post trips. Yep. What do you think about that? Little QR codes. I will say what drivers should do is take a picture of the QR code with another phone, and you could just show it to that phone and do it that way. That's one way to do it. Zonar. Hyperinflation is triple digit. We don't have hyperinflation. 5 to 9%. 9% is still a lot of inflation. The parent company of CFI bought UPS Freight, and the deal was completed in April. Sweet. I think you'll get more UPS Freight. The only thing that frustrates me about Automax is when you switch from reverse to forward, it hesitates. They're not the great as a car, but it's better than, it was. And I'm in. If the truck's safe otherwise, it's a legal truck, so I'm in. But I agree. Look, if it matters that much to you, kind of like smoking with me. If it matters that much to you, then I agree. Go find a truck that you want to drive. I mean, what's the point of life if you don't get what you want out of it? When I get a new truck, my pre-trip is usually an hour. Trucker Hershey, wow. We have drivers that don't do an hour pre-trips in an entire year combined. That's how I got that truck with all those problems. Do you think anybody done a pre-trip on that truck in a while? No. Hey, Mark, I got $200 from the Prime lawsuit. That's pretty good. I didn't know they were paying that out already. I have to look that up. Which settlement? They have so many. These trucks don't have to govern their trucks, not understanding why. Owner-operators, I get why they don't, but my company leases out the older Freightliners and they don't govern them once leased out. Yeah, well, you paying for the truck, you should be able to do what you want with it. That's my opinion. No matter how you're paying for it, it's still your truck. You ought to be able to run 90 if you want to. You're buying the fuel. I drove some straight trucks years ago. I've driven a few straight trucks. RPM power bands are way lower than they used to be. Older engines made peak power at like 1,500, right. Newer trucks make peak power at 1,100. That's why we're turning 1175 at 65. Then we're right in the power band and the truck gets good mileage. Nope, they just do it off the tablet. One of my friends does this at his company right now. Okay, so I didn't know there'd probably be a phone thing for it, to be honest with you. But yeah, so take the tablet, walk around the truck, right? Scan QR codes or RF tags. Yeah, at least you have to walk around the truck, right? We had a similar thing when I was a security guard. Had a wand we had to tap against buttons. I've seen guards also do things with a key. This is the only way they're going to get drivers to at least look at the equipment. When I go pick up a trailer and it has 3 flat tires, nobody's looked at that trailer in a long time. When I go tap the trailer in, because we do all that on the computer, it says the date because you get to examine the last thing the last driver put in because you're supposed to be able to. I've had dates that are a year ago, 18 months ago. It's the last time anybody even put the trailer in. The company could care less. They just don't care. I don't think that's new. I remember in the 90s when they had a little magnet at FedEx for the drivers to walk around and can scan each transponder, whatever you call it. Okay, well, Zonar said they're coming out with this new thing, Zonar, where you can go. I guess they wouldn't have had QR codes then, but yeah, absolutely. All we did was make it, some people walked around and scanned, not actually pre-trip. Of course, people are just going to walk around to those codes. And like I'm saying, if you took a picture of those codes on another device, you could just scan those codes from your other device and never get out of the truck. People will take all kinds of time to make sure they don't do the time to do a pre-trip. I drive a 2021 Cascadia and a Detroit and an automatic 12. Yeah, that's what we normally have here. We don't have hyperinflation yet. It's coming. Nothing happens overnight. Takes a couple of years to get there. Yeah. Oh, look, down the road, it's going to be a mess. At 75, average 9 to 10 miles per gallon. That's great. Holy mackerel. I can't go 75 in mine. No straight trucks at the manhole. Well, look, everybody's welcome at the manhole as long as you come in the back door. My 10-speed Peterbilt won't go into any gear if I'm stopped unless I'm on the clutch at least 5 seconds. Really? Is that a Peterbilt thing? So you got to sit there and hold the clutch for 5 seconds? Why is that safe? The U.S. dollar is the reserve currency. We won't have hyperinflation, George Costanza. Our military power allows us to dictate what our dollar's worth. Our dollar's worth $1. On the global level, we're not Venezuela. Exactly. Cash is King thinks hyperinflation is already happening. Slowly, but every week, every month, things are going up like gas. I will say some stations here are 3.25 for gas, but I look at the Meyer app before the show because it has the gas updated on there. It's 303 at Meyer today. 303 is what the price is doing there. The Bay Area Teamsters are having a job fair. Did you see that? The Teamsters are having a job fair, and they're commenting that, you know what, gas pays $25 an hour, and that's pretty good pay. This is San Jose, California, all right? $25 an hour is not good pay. Oh, right. And I had an update on this I-40 bridge. By July 31st, they said, the people working on it should be open by July 31st in Memphis. It should be. They found a couple other little things, they said, well, little, crack here and there, whatever, and they're going to JB weld them, apparently. I don't know what they're doing with it. And but they did say July 31st, the bridge should be back open to traffic. Won't that be great? With all the money they put into it, what they're probably thinking is, how can we toll this bridge to pay for it? People will accept that now that they know there's been all this stuff on it. Cut Rooster Travels is here. Almost missed it again. Well, it's good to see you. Luke, you better get your truck into a shop. That doesn't sound correct at all. I do have some straight trucks years ago. Let's see, automatic. I was loaded heavy. I got too cocky and almost turned over a turn. You're not in control with an automatic. Oh, I don't know. It's like a car, right? It's like a car. And, I had some straight, the straight truck I had was a Mercedes. That's the one I mainly drove, and it was a stick shift. It was a stick-shifted straight truck. The government had 3 ways to pay for things: taxes, cut spending, or print money. You can raise taxes or cut spending, or people riot, so you have to inflate. Yeah, right. Just make the money worthless. You just keep printing as much as you want. I hated slip seating because you can't know what all is or what going wrong with it before slip seating. Assigned trucks are way better. Slip seating is the same as picking up trailers you don't know. I agree, right. It's a disaster. I wouldn't want to slip seat a truck every day, even if I was home every day in it. I wouldn't want to do that. I know some companies do that. They just assign. I think Walmart does that too, even on their local trucks, I think. But some companies, you come in and you just get the next truck. I wouldn't like that. It's aggravating enough coming in when you have to change trucks because your truck goes in the shop or something or whatever, and that's a problem. All fuel $5 a gallon by Labor Day. Oh, nice. $5 a gallon. Dang, that 22 to 2,500 miles I drive a year in my car will be a problem at 30 miles a gallon. Don't want to be the Weimar Republic. Weimar Republic. Want to fix the problem? Stop letting everyone vote. Yeah, people stop voting. Only those who pay taxes should vote. We don't have a poll tax, so we got a constitutional problem with only saying people with money or that pay can vote. So that certainly can't work. Maybe we could have people only vote that can name one thing about the candidate they're going to vote for. How about that? Or if I show a picture of them, they know who it is. Maybe that would be one way to vote. How do automatics do in the winter, Dennis? One thing I've always liked about manuals is you can get to rock the truck out of a situation. Oh, you can do that with an automatic. You just turn off the traction control, right? Turn everything. There's buttons and R's to turn them off. It'll spin the tires all day. So no problem. It spins just like a car. Same as a car. So that's never been an issue. Inflation is coming. I lived through the 70s, and what is happening now is exactly what happened back then. Expect double-digit interest rates. Sweet. Dang it, I don't have any credit cards. Yes, King Trucking, JB Weld the bridge. Can't you look? Paul Harvey talks about JB Weld. That you can JB Weld things together. Can't you just cold weld that, right? You just squirt some of that stuff in there and stick a plate to it, right? And hold it for a couple minutes. Isn't that how it works? You just get a big tube of the JB Weld, like the super size at like Costco or one at Sam's Club or whatever, one of those things. Welfare dependents should not be able to vote for real. The problem here, again, we have this, because someone doesn't have money with it, they can't vote. We can't do that. I got to support the Constitution. No poll tax. $5 diesel will be a problem, Trucker Hershey. Oh, yeah, but not for me. And actually, if you're getting good enough fuel mileage, I don't think it's a problem because, right, owner-operators, imagine what your fuel surcharge would be at $5 a gallon. Let's say the EPA average, which this week's $3.33 according to the government. If it went to $5, what would your surcharge be? 50 cents, 60 cents? I mean, I don't know. That'd be pretty good. 80 cents? Only vet should be allowed to vote. James Bass. That'd be interesting. Maybe only vet should be allowed to be president. That'd be an interesting way to do it. And women's suffrage. Women can vote. Okay, we can. Women do vote. All right. And I do have a Susan B. Anthony coin. So Gorilla Glue the bridge way cheaper. Maybe Flex Seal. Look, if that guy can Flex Seal that big water tank that he did on TV, why couldn't he do the bridge? He slapped a thing. He put that stuff on there. The goo stuff. Absolutely. 2 terrorist attacks on pipelines on the Keystone and the Justice Department of Colonial. Nice. They won't raise interest rates because that will collapse the economy. They're going to keep the interest rate super low until 2024, until elections. Is it a good time to buy a truck? Bitcoin Barber. Well, depends on who you ask, right? I don't ever think it's a good time to buy a truck as a company driver. I'm not an owner-operator fan, so meaning that I won't be buying a truck no matter what. But yeah, if you can get into it, and remember that you're owning a business and not buying a truck, right? You're buying a business and run it right. You can make money. Absolutely. Only property owners, veterans, and the spouses of either should be able to vote. Property owners. I don't think that's going to work. Only property owners. I'm like, did I just go through a time warp to 1790? What's going on here? I don't think that's going to happen. The Constitution is dead, said Judge Bork. My interest rates are already double digits. Yeah, you're going your way, though. Inbound. Those are the inbound rates. Plus that lease payment you got on that International Max Force you're leasing out to that driver. Boy. Find the guy that had that hard hat that was glued to the I-beam. Yeah, Paul Harris. What about that guy? Let's use that stuff. Super glue. Shoot, I come from Mexican parents and I voted for Trump for the second time, Mr. Beaner. Well, welcome to America. I have to get back to my kids. All right, Dennis. Promise to take them to the park today. It's a good day, at least here. 76. Want to go home before it gets too hot. Have a great day. Awesome podcast. Thanks for being here, Dennis. I appreciate it. And enjoy the time at the park with the kids. Believe me, that's what's important. That is what is important. Work is never important compared to anything else. It's the least on the list of things that are important. It's all the way at the bottom. Hearing commercials on the radio. Safeway's hiring on the spot. Home daily, $26.75. But it's Tracy, California for $26 an hour. Look, Cisco is hiring in Indianapolis right now. Ads again today. $26.50 an hour in Indy. Okay, I think you get a much better life in Indianapolis at $26.50 than you would at Tracy, California at $26.75. And Safeway, at least, are they overtime at least? They pay at least overtime? That doesn't seem like that much money in California. It just doesn't when I'm getting that here. I'm seeing 25 to 30 in Indianapolis area. Remember when I was little and used to believe in Santa and voting? Both things used to be important. I heard that in 2023, I believe it was the governor of Connecticut just passed the law. He's going to make truckers pay an extra 17 cents a mile for running through the state. Yeah, they're going to have a miles traveled tax. It would be all trucks, so companies will pay it. One of the guys working at the Chinese buffet I was at yesterday was wearing a Trump hat. Sweet. I actually thought about getting Chinese yesterday, too. That's funny. I thought, oh, you know what? I should get Chinese. And then I thought, you know what? I'm not leaving the house. So I ended up not getting it. But I thought about it. Maybe this week I'll get some Chinese based on that. Chewing the fat with my brothers about interest rates. Complain about mortgage at 4%. Dad chimes in, when you were kids, we had 15%. Yeah, mortgages were a little higher. Maybe late 70s, early 80s. Pig Pen. Come on, people. Be an honorable shellback and tip your host. Well, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. My wife will appreciate you saying shellback as well. So thank you for that. Safeway drivers get good benefits and pension, but management treats you like crap. That's a lot of companies. But pension only pays you later. $26.75. How do you live in California on basically $1,100 a week, maybe $1,200 a week, depending on how many hours you get, I guess. Bitcoin Barber, thank you. You know who you should head off to, Bitcoin Barber? Right here for a little bit more owner-operator information. He's on here right now, too, to ask him about that. I just don't own a truck. Company driver here. I don't want the risk, personally, of it. Taking a serious look at starting my own authority. Oh, I keep hearing that trailers are next to impossible to find. Buying a good truck is less than half the battle. Really? Lease onto a company that has trailers. How about that? Of course, if you have authority, well, some do take you, I guess, with your authority. Celtic Rooster Travels. Oh, thank you very much. Voting yes for Weiner Monday. Always, Weiner, we always say yes to a good Weiner here on the show. That's for sure. Thank you very much. Don't mind Cash bitching. He's the cat who bought UPS through his holding company. Well, he makes all that interest on that International Max Force lease. 70% interest rates went all the way to 22%. 70s interest rates. They don't have automatic braking on manual transmission because on ice, if it has to hit the brake, it will stall the engine. Automatic will brake torque. Why doesn't it just pull the clutch in? I guess it can't. Looking for a home daily job, at least 5 and 2 off for $70,000. There's tons of those. If you have experience. Is this unreasonable an expectation? If not, where can I look in the Northeast Pennsylvania? Love the videos as always. Well, I don't know what's going on out there. Look, Transforce, which advertises all over the place. They're a huge nationwide driver placement service, kind of a leasing, where driver leasing, temp service, that's what I'm trying to say. They're running $29 an ad in Indianapolis, plus overtime. That's $2,000 a week, home every day. All right, see if they have something out there to get you started. That'd be a great place to get going. Pablo, thank you very much. I appreciate it. That's pretty good. That's old school right there on top of that, too. I appreciate that. That's where I'm from. Isn't Cisco union? I don't think so, Chris. I don't think they are. Guess, Trucker Hershey, guess who pays in Hertz for $5? Not the owner-operator or any company. Prices go up on everything, which is what they want. That's true. I'm just saying that. The $5 fuel won't bother me that way, and I don't use enough gas where it would bother me either, I guess. Fortunately, it wouldn't hurt me that much, other than some other prices would go up. Ran across the first video you did for a live show was an introduction. Wow. Been to 3 countries and like 3 overseas countries, or USA, Canada, just... Yeah, 3 overseas countries. Never been overseas. I would like to be overseas. So, been to every state. How about that? Every state in Canada. So, done that. All the regular states. Be careful. You don't want people from California to move to Indiana. Oh, they can't get this far. They all stop in Texas. They're not coming here. First winter, they leave. They can't take it. By the end of October, they're gone. 40 degrees, they're like, forget it. I mailed him a corn dog, but the postman ate it. Those dang postmans. We have a post woman here. Hardest working YouTuber online. Flash, I appreciate it. Reads every comment and responds. Well, I appreciate it. It's a lot of hours, but well worth it. Most Cisco locations are union, but not all. It doesn't say in the ad. Let's put it that way. I think $26.50 to start in Indianapolis is better than $26.75 to start in California, union or not. That's what I think. You'd have a way better life. I think it's worth moving from a place if you can't live there decently with what you're making. Just move. I always saw that. They were interviewing somebody who was living in a car in California, and they were working. But they're like, well, I can't afford a place to live. Well, friggin' drive your car somewhere. You're in a car. You're not paying anything rent. So save up a week's pay and drive across the country. So that's what I thought. I mean, I don't know. I'm stupid. It's bad enough when a company dictates how you drive a truck, but if the government dictates how the trucker to operate and how to drive it, I'll definitely retire. Aviator trucker. Time to retire. They already dictate a lot of that, as we know. But yeah, look, this Lindy thing, if they have people hiding in bushes, oh my gosh. Some brokers have trailers, so if you got your truck and authority, you can make a little more on a deal like that, but you're limited to one broker. All right, so use a broker trailer. Can you call one of these rental, any Penske or Premier or any of these large places? Can you get a trailer that way? Is that one way to get a trailer? I felt better after your Sunday rant. I know you did, Kevin. Kevin, I did. And I do every week, so most weeks. So, yes, absolutely. I mean, these things are so frustrating. So frustrating for me on the road. Ugh. Good show, Mark. See you later. Catch the reset on replay. All right, Robert. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Appreciate you being here, everybody. Believe me. Sorry, renters. Should have had a better credit score. I find it insulting that my government is trillions of debt and I can't finance a boat. Dang it. No boat for you. That doesn't float your boat. Jason, we need to give California back to Mexico. They can leave anytime they want. Absolutely. Christopher, been driving 5 years, been at FedEx for 3. I'm getting jerked around. As a team driver and trainer, I'm making $1,300 to $1,400 a week at 68 cents. I know there's much better. Seems like you could make that as a solo driver. Can't you make that as a solo driver at FedEx? We have a FedEx here in town. As you go towards the Subaru plant. So I'm retiring tomorrow. I'm too old for this wild beard trucking. Oh, one more day. Who retires on a Tuesday? You gotta at least work the rest of the week. Connecticut has talked about restoring tolls on I-95 for 30 years. Not surprising at the least. Just don't go there. Granted or not. A lot of these states I've been to that Biden country voters, I'm seeing a lot of Trump supporters. A lot of people I say talk to Biden, win was fixed. Look, both of them are kind of old to run anymore. Been with Melton for 5 months. Last week I accomplished a new achievement by seeing all 48 states in a Melton truck in 5 months. I delivered in Boston and picked up lumber in Maine. Got New Hampshire and Rhode Island to finish. Really? Took me, oh my gosh, 15, 18 years to get to all the states, to get to the last states, mostly Northeast. I think Maine was the end. I had never gotten up there. But it took a long time to get through all the states. All elections are fixed. I saw the other day 59,000 new DOT numbers issued already, and that surpasses by a large amount. Most guys are going owner-operators. Joe Ritchie, they did. There's another article out, if you saw that maybe it was in this one too. Tons of people are taking the owner-operator route this year. Tons of people are buying a truck and going out on their own. So, yeah, that seems like that's what people want to do. They're afraid that their company is going to go broke or whatever. And so they're like, Well, my company might close, so I guess I'll buy my own truck. That's a better way to go. I'll have a single truck. And and so absolutely. Some people want the dream of owning the truck. For a lot of them, it doesn't work out. And then for some of them, it works out great. As long as they know that they're running a business and they run their truck like a business, they're going to be just fine. People just think they're going to buy a truck, put on a cowboy hat, and go out and drive and make a ton of money. It's more work than that to it. I'm in management, and it goes both ways. You don't always get what you give. Well, that's true, too. All I'm asking from a company, Al, since you're in the office now, is a decent truck that nobody smokes in, and they'll never hear from me. They know when I'm coming in, there's some kind of problem because they don't hear from me otherwise. So they'll just do what I ask them to do, provide a decent truck, and make the drivers write stuff up when there's a problem. They won't ever hear from me. Most FedEx team drivers make $90 to $100,000. It seemed like $1,300 to $1,400 a week is not a lot of money at FedEx. After you've been there for years, they're grumpy truckers checking in from Decatur, Illinois, not that far away. Andrew Hurricane called GP Transco, Christopher. Some contractors claim better, but I have trust issues with companies and contractors alike. Well, does Canada call their area states also like Winnipeg, or is it just Winnipeg? I don't know. Are there any Canadians on here I found your podcast on Spotify last night. Very enjoyable listening to good topics. Dave, well, thank you very much. I restarted that podcast. I'm going to try for Tuesday, Fridays on the podcast to start with, and if people like it, maybe we'll expand it to, that can go daily too, so we'll see how that goes. So, yeah, podcast on Spotify, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, wherever you get a podcast, iTunes. I drove a true 13-speed and Ford tandem dump truck after high school. Wow. The 13 speeds that most drivers refer to are only 9 with a splitter, not a true 13-speed. Nice. A province or prefecture? Ooh, prefecture sounds like a commandant from Star Trek. This is Prefecture Smith and Commandant Jones. Welcome. Californians, how to get to Texas. Get on I-40 and drive east. When you reach the intersection, you've reached Texas, and that's where they all stay. They never make it all the way up here. They're afraid of the toll road and coming up from there, and they just won't make it. Cameron, hey, what's going on? Hi, Mark. What's going on? Did you listen to Rump Funk, the riff I wrote when my ADD kicked in on my channel? Rump Funk. That's that I haven't heard that. Where did you get fuel or parking in Maine? I don't think I did. I think I just picked a load up and left. It seems like they were getting a load and I got it and left. Isn't there one truck stop up the main road, though? According to the philosopher Jagger, you can't always get what you want, but if you try sometimes, you get what you need. Very good. Most state cabs I've succeeded were disgusting, George Wilson. And that is a management problem, and that's what I told him about this truck I had. I go, this truck is like this because of you people in this office. Rather, because you don't make drivers write it up. They just drive it every single day. I go, somebody from management or whatever should bring a driver in here on a weekend and pre-trip all these trucks. And any driver that leaves a problem should be written up. And if they leave it a few times, they're fired. Because this is going to take a couple of weeks probably for them to fix this truck. And I got delayed, so I got paid for that. They had to pay for that. They had to go get me a truck. It's a big disaster, and it's their fault for not doing it. But most companies don't care. It's just freight. They don't care. As long as the freight moves, that's all they care. Move freight. But they're disgusting also. Don't tolerate it. You get one that's disgusting, shut the door and walk right back inside. Say, when you clean this truck, I'm ready to drive it. Especially now. You have COVID on your side now. That's perfect. Hey, this needs to be disinfected. Go in there for that. I'm scared it needs to be disinfected. Use that against them. Hey, I'm not getting in that. Who knows what's in there? This truck has to be disinfected. Bangor, Maine, Dysarts. Okay, I got the t-shirt. Yeah, there's one. Right, I thought there was a place up there. Do you need a certain amount of experience to get your own authority? No, you can just go get your own authority. You really need matching boots. Where did I go off to? So to be a true owner-operator, you do with a spur on them, right? We have the roller, so your roller winners are. If you tried Trucker Path. Sup from Hartfield, Pennsylvania, just waiting for a dock to get unloaded. Gold Picard. All right. How long is that going to take, though? Pre-trip is the first thing you learn. It's the most ignored. Oh, yeah. People don't care. Nobody. And I don't think the management should be sitting in the bushes watching you. But if they come in on the weekend, especially when they have a problem like this, I think that's legitimate. They come in on a weekend and would bring a driver because nobody in management knows anything here about driving. You need to bring a driver in or tell them, come in, do every truck and write it up and bring it into management. And then they should talk to that driver and go, oh, why does this truck have 3 engine lights? It has an oil seal that's blown with grease all over the frame, right? It has all these other problems. Why is it being held together with zip ties? What is happening? And then he gets written up for it. You're not doing a pre-trip, so you get written up. Simple. I had a trucker path, but I don't want to pay for it. I'm a company driver, so you make crap money, Clayton. Go somewhere better. How much could trucker path be? I thought it was free. Isn't it free? You have to pay for it? How much could it possibly be? I'm curious, do a lot of listeners wear masks in 2020? Depends what they're doing. We'll say that. Mark gets fed up and go to Blue Beacon. Hey, y'all, power wash and rinse out interiors. Well, I'd have to drive it down there, though. That's the thing. I agree with you. But look, you make them do it. I think the company needs to provide you a truck that's safe, okay, for the road, legal, right, where everything works, including the air. I especially think the air should work. But it also needs to be clean. And I'm not saying it has to be pristine like some companies. It doesn't have to be in showroom condition. But if you open the door and it's smoke, right, or it's disgusting, full of garbage, I've seen those, full of garbage. No, that is not acceptable. And the company shouldn't accept that. Wasn't even going to come back to trucking, but I quit my other job over mask mandates. Well, ironically, some places you go have mask mandates. Still a couple places I go to in the Natty, I have about 5 places I go, depending on what I have. They still have a mask mandate. I just wear a mask, no problem. Oh, you don't know you arrived at shift change? That's never good. They go, all right, well, guys, we'll be back at 5, but the new second shift starts, and then you're just sitting there all day. That's why you should get paid for that. Pablo, I got to go back to work. Have a good day. All right. Well, thank you for being here. I appreciate you coming in today. The XFO is going to start paying people wages for their 180 hours of training. XPO, I should say. XPO. So they're going to take trainees and give you 7 weeks of training, 180 hours, and they're going to pay people for it. That's all going to be paid. I think that's pretty interesting. With a no payback if you stay a certain period of time. So that's one way to get into driving right now. XPO. Speaking of pre-trip, saw a battery on the side of the road. Had some cable still attached. Well, I wonder if the battery light came out in the truck. Do you think he came out of a truck, by the way? Or a car? Roger, yeah, I don't need no stinging authority. Yeah, just gypsy it out there. I will say there's probably places that would give you freight. So, absolutely. It looked very used. Maybe somebody dumped it out of their pickup truck that way. Trucker Path is free or $10 a month for extra services like predictive parking. Oh, all right. So it is partly free. And look, you may make crap money, $10 a month. Come on, that's nothing. All right, you can make that no problem. Roger Penske gets pulled over. Whose authority? I have a note here from my mom. I go, all right. I can't think of the guy's name right. Anybody willing to part with $600 so I can get a Garmin? Holy mackerel. Why don't you just use your phone? $600? You could buy an old phone for that and just use that. Use it as a separate GPS where you broadcast your cell signal around the place and it picks it up as Wi-Fi. $600. Mark's still waiting on this Roller Wiener Monday mask. I got to look cool. Nothing says cool like a Roller Wiener mask. Yeah, nothing says cool like a wiener on your face. A blown seal, that's better than duty. Roger Penske. Yeah, look, you look at the front axle. The whole rim, the frame, everything, full of grease. Seal blown out of it. I'm like, you look, this truck didn't catch on fire or these wheels come off of here. I mean, this is ridiculous. I'm not taking this anywhere. I'm not even taking it to the shop. I said, you're going to have to figure out how to get it to the shop. Well, we don't know what to do. I'm like, I don't know what to do either. So in a while, I'll head home, and that's the end of that. Well, then they're like, well, wait a minute now. You want the special feature trucker path you have to pay for, like night mode. Oh, you have to pay for night mode? And truck routing? Oh, so you only get like a trucker path light? Should I rebuild the 2005 Cummins in my W900, Carlos? I don't know. What do our owner-operators think? Should you rebuild an engine? That's got to be expensive. That's got to be like $700. Can you get one from Jasper? Can you get a Jasper rebuild for that? I pay the $10 per month to Trucker Path because I like to support those that support truckers. Oh, that's a good reason. I really do wish everybody would do it. I understand that it's expensive, but we have to support the app. That's very good. As you know, I talk about this. I play Star Trek Online all the time, and I have for many years. And it's free to play all the way through. But I make sure to spend money every year, at least $20 to $50 a year in the game, because somebody's got to develop that game all the new content and everything. And I agree with you. It's worth giving them a little bit of money because I'm using it constantly and getting value out of it. So you should pay for it. So that's very good. They probably appreciate that at Trucker Path. I was out of hours and I pulled into the Pilot and there was no spots to park. That stinks. Not a mask, it's a muzzle. You look like a corn dog. I use Track Phone and pay $25 a month. Walmart Family Mobile Plan. Walmart Mobile. Best decision ever. Recruiters, shippers, lumpers can't have my personal phone number. Oh, I agree. I don't do anything at work on my phone as a company driver. Now, they don't have you do anything here. So, but there's a Geotab app for your phone for the Geotab. I don't put it on there. Like, well, you can use it on your phone. I'm like, no, I can't. So I'm named it Rump Fump because I thought of it while I was watching Trucking Answers. I don't know if that's good or not, but I do appreciate it. Maybe it will be the official song of the channel. Richard, I parked in the reserve spot and they told me I had to move. Well, if you didn't reserve it, I agree you should have to move. That's a problem. That's a real problem. I net after taxes and insurance $800 to $900 a week. The wife isn't working. She's in school, so no extra money going out for fancy apps. I hear you. If you like your job, keep it, but you could do more, meaning you could make more. You can also work Uber when you get home. I told them I was out of hours. Well, I mean, it is private property, and that isn't, that you're in a spot that isn't allowed. Ooh, that's a tough one, right? But it's their spot. What'd they say to you? Also, with the latest update, you get weather overlay, route updates with traffic. You could park, and you can link your Easy Pass and get the green light in like 5 miles out. Dang it! That place has really got it going on. I didn't know it did all that, to be honest with you. Mark's company seems like a good place. They don't make you do anything. Well, they do make you do stuff. I just won't do it. Okay, they'll make you do whatever basically you'll do. So many drivers would just take the truck. Many drivers would not have said anything about the truck that's got all the problems. But I don't play that. Homie, don't play that. So I don't do it. I've been there a long time, and I don't care what they think about it, personally. I'm just not about that anymore. I'm not going to get walked over by some lousy company. There's jobs all over the place. Before I leave the place, I could have another job in the parking lot, probably. After you're at a place 19 years, right, you can get another job. So that is not a big issue. I could care less. Just don't care. I have a good run. But I'm just not going to tolerate it. And really, fire me, that'd be a real problem. I'd make a phone call instantly to headquarters, and we'd have a problem. See, all the problems with the truck, I only posted one or two pictures of them. I documented. I have probably a dozen pictures and a video about the truck. So that would all go down there, and I'd immediately say, look, headquarters people, management here wants me to drive this truck. Is this what we do here? Is this how we do this at Company X? Is this what we do? And that's the problem. And that would be a problem for them. And they know it. Not paying $10 a month for a phone app when I have fully paid for Garmin and Google Maps. I just use Google Maps. All right, I do. Even when the app is required, I still don't do it. I let them contact my dispatch since I'm a company driver. The app is never required on my phone. The company would have to provide me a phone. That's for sure. The company would have to provide me a phone. Your dream job is a stay-at-home truck driver? That's coming. I can't remember the name of it. They just opened. They are allowing remote workers to drive forklifts, and they're working on trucks. So you can sit at home and drive a forklift for different companies without leaving your house. Yep. Let the broker contact my company. Absolutely. Right. I'd say I'm not in on this contract. That's between you two. Okay. You want to track the truck? You can install something in the truck or whatever, but they're not tracking me, and they're not doing anything with my phone. Don't let these companies do this to you. It's your phone. If they want a tracking thing, let them provide you the hardware to do that. As an employee, I expect a company to provide me whatever the load needs. And if it needs it to be tracked, that's their problem. All of our trucks are tracked like most companies. They can track the truck. It isn't a problem. They always do that too. I'll call them. They go, oh, well, where are you? I go, you know where I am. Pull the truck up. Are you aware of all the changes happening at Swift? Yes. Training pays $800 per week and no more teaming. What does that mean? Trainer sitting next to the trainee the whole time and $1,000 per week guaranteed for 6 months. That's good. I didn't know that. They should advertise that more. There should never have been teaming. So I'm in with that finally. Teaming while you're training is not training. I call BS on that. $1,000 a month. Omar, yeah, nice Omar. I agree. That's great that Swift is doing that. I'm dead laughing. They make you do stuff. I'm just not doing it. This is, Clayton, look, it's true. It's true. They tell people to do it, and I'm like, I'm not doing it. No. And then they're like, no, we're not. I'm just going to head home and just start making phone calls. And suddenly they find a truck or can fix the truck. They can do a lot of stuff. They just don't want, because it's freight. That's all they care about is getting freight moved. That's it, like most places. The main reason I keep my app is because I get TransFlow it. So bam, paperwork done. All right. I'm just saying, if you want to do it and you volunteer for it, I'm not volunteering for it. And I think the company should provide whatever you need to do your job, including TransFlow. And if that requires some app from another phone, they should do it. Anything that's on the phone from a company, who knows what they're doing? That's what I'm saying. Tracking, looking around in your phone. Who knows what they're doing? Listening. Oh, we would never do that. Well, you would never do it if you're never in my phone. How about that? That's a better way to do it. Sit at home over the road coming soon to an Xbox near you. You laugh about that. That is coming. They said there'll be a time when a driver could drive 2 or 3 trucks at a time. As a truck needs a driver, it'll come onto your screen and you'll be able to drive. Absolutely. What they have, they said right now they're looking into changing the hours of service for drivers that work with a self-driving truck, because the truck won't be able to drive itself 100% of the time, but it will be able to do most of the highway driving. And they are looking at changing the hours of service. So while you're in the truck and it's driving itself, they said either those hours won't count at all or they'll only count as a percentage. So maybe it's half the time. The truck goes 10 hours, it only counts against you 5 hours, something to that effect. That's what they are looking at doing right now. They just talked about it. They want to change the hours of service for that in advance of these trucks coming. Word is out among the dispatchers, don't mess with Mr. Magoo and the bag full of truck stop wieners. That's correct. And, it isn't that, and the company's probably thinking, I'm not trying to be difficult. All I ask for is a decent truck where it doesn't have a bunch of problems and, it's legal for the road. That's it. Then they don't hear from me. They may not hear from me for months. But then when there's a problem and they don't correct it, then they're going to hear from me. That's all you got to do at places. Melton got me to all 48 states in the first 5 months. I know that's amazing, especially in a flat. So they do keep you moving. That's the best way I can describe why I like the company. I never went past the Mississippi River in a flatbed. Never. That was always refrigerated. I'll be visiting my first truck show post-COVID, the Gulf Coast Big Rig Show at Biloxi, Mississippi. I did see that was out there. So, let me know how that goes. And go aggravate all the companies there. If they're there, ask them, hey, do you pay for all my time? Imagine when they start to place ads in trucking simulator games. I'm surprised that they don't. There are ads in like Grand Theft Auto and stuff. They talked about that the billboards and stuff are paid ads. So when you see that Coca-Cola billboard or whatever, that's a paid ad. I wouldn't be surprised if they actually do have that. I don't have a problem with TransFlow on my phone, but I don't download any broker apps. GPS doesn't work half the daytime anyways. Well, I have the phone on for traffic the whole time that I drive back and forth. Every day it's on, and I'm running Google Maps for traffic. Even though I go to the same places, I need the Google Map because if it goes from 2 hours, 7 minutes to 4 hours, I know I got a problem and I may need to make a detour. So it's important to have that running all the time, I think. Hi, Mark, you still work here? That is how it is sometimes. I may not see him for a long time, and that's the way it should be. I got no problems. Everything goes good. That's perfect for me, or I don't need to see him. But when there's a problem, and then they're like, well, we don't have any other trucks, then we got a problem. Then I got to go. If I got to go down there, especially during the day, I got to go down there. There's going to be a problem. I had a broker call me to ask me info about the load that I was hauling. I told him I'm not allowed to give him any information regarding this load or any load that I'm hauling per company policy. How would they get your number? That'd be the next call I'd make. It be instantly to the company and say, how'd this broker get my number anyway? Why are you giving my number out to anybody? I don't like that they give the number out. Hey, what are you doing here? That Johnny Cash made a song about that. I've been everywhere. Yeah, that's a lot of states in just a few months. I'm pinging on Martin. I'm thinking of leaving Swift for them. Probably be a better deal. They have a terminal in Indy, so they advertise around here all the time. They have some kind of minimum, too. Although now I see Swift is running $1,000 minimum. I always liked refrigerated on the road. I always like it on the road. Creep might try to chase me down and run my credit score if I aggravate them at the truck show. Hey, what's your credit score? Get back here. Don't wear any information from your company either down there in case your company is there. Just ask companies, hey, do you pay for all my time? And they go, sure. And then go, oh, so what's pre-trip pay? This kind of stuff. How much am I paid to wait? Well, after 2 hours. See, that's not paid for all your time. Let's bring back the 40-hour work week. Who wants to work that much? I do about 37 hours a week of work at work. So that I would have to increase my hours. I'd have to do like a couple of extra hours. And anybody can bring a 40-hour work week to themselves by simply getting a job that only works 40 hours. Right? No, Magoo, right? You're the one that still sees the Magoo truck. Traveling writer, tell me George Costanza. They'll give the deluxe drug test, or they do it themselves. I meant to say the GPS and the broker app doesn't work. Oh, and they still call. I see what you're saying. Oh, yeah, look. They shouldn't be calling personally, I don't think. I have nothing to do with this contract. It's between you and the company. Call the company. So I am with you, right. Yeah, Magoo, you've done it again. We're the only ones that remember that, though. $1,300 guaranteed a week, they say, for Martin Traveling Writer. Yeah, right. I see that they're running a guarantee, and I was like refrigerated on the road for me personally. I know that's some people don't. They will like different ways on the road. I liked it because I got longer loads. Depends what you want. Ask them what their length of haul is. Average length of haul. I don't know what it is. So I don't know if they're doing long loads or not anymore. Probably can't make Friday happen. Should be there Saturday. I missed 40 hours a week, but I did it to myself. That's true, right? You could add this nice week, and now you're working all these hours. For more aggravation and less driving. Sometimes I tell my company what's what, and I'm not going to put up with it. I'm just not doing something depending on the situation. Then I feel like they take out their inconveniences on me. Oh, that'd be a real problem. That would be a real problem. I've taken pictures for years, and I save them. They have their own file that I save all these pictures to. So, these pictures could go to the DOT or headquarters, safety. When there's a run that's, say, 15 hours and 7 minutes, which they've had those, I take a picture of that. I see, oh, wow. And I'd be like, oh, how does this happen? Those pictures can get out. You don't want that stuff getting out. That's what I'm saying. When I send it to them and go, well, what should I do with this? And then things can happen. Always got to build up something on your side. Always be ready. Always be ready. And always be ready to live up to whatever ultimatum you give them. If you say, I'll go home rather than do this, go home. If they don't do what you tell them to do. Always live up to your side of it. It's a truck show happening in Louisville this year. It will be in March of 2022. I hope to see you there. So it'll be end of March. Last weekend of March. Get revenge and write their phone number on walls of public toilets. You could do that kind of thing. That's a good idea. Sanders Turner, sorry for being so late. Well, it's good to see you anyways. See, the thing is here, they're big enough where they have like their own mail. So it's their name at company.com, right? So what you do is send them an email there rather than to their personal phone, which normally we talk. You send them an email there because then corporate and everybody in headquarters can read it. So you go, well, I got these pictures or whatever, and then suddenly action starts happening. Always know the system, like I always say, right? Know the rules, know the system, and know how to play the system, and always have information on your side. Everything that goes wrong, take a picture of. I've literally, 500 at least pictures at this place. You never know when you'll need them. Why are you taking pictures? I don't know. Never know when I'll need it. Does Melton take their students just out of CDL school? They do. Melton will take students. Does anyone really call those numbers? Maybe at the manhole. Those you don't need to at the manhole. There's somebody there to assist you with whatever your issue is. For a great time for $10 a mile, call Broker Dan. That'd be good. At a company X, the dispatchers explained to his boss about all these roller wieners expense to the company card. Oh, I wish I could do that. That'd be great. John Harper, I'm working at McDonald's and Burger King. How'd you get it? So you're doing double duty down there? Duty, I said duty. Quick lock the doors, hang the close sign. Here comes Mark. If I got to go down there, it's a problem, right? It is, because I've already called him and we've already talked, not to my satisfaction. So if I show up down there, it's a problem. And by the way, when I show up there, the phone is in my pocket running on record. Everything's recorded. Indiana's a single party consent state. Keep that in mind for your state. I don't know what your state is. Here it's single party consent. I can record any conversation with somebody as long as one of us consents, which is me. So everything gets recorded. You always have to be protecting yourself when you work at a company. And it's rare that I have to do this, but I've had to do this at times. And so, when something then later is said, well, this is what Mark said. Oh, really? Well, let's listen to what Mark said. And we'll see what Mark said. And that's the thing. Always protect yourself and be ready to walk out. I still haven't been further west than DFW, Carthage, Missouri. I know my company gets loads to Washington State, and I'm kind of getting bored. Well, tell them, look, hey, you got these loads of Washington. Well, how about throwing one over here? You better get going. In another 60 days or whatever, it's going to be snowing. So, get going out there immediately. Really, seriously. Just say, look, maybe they think you don't want to go or whatever. Put that in their ear and say, hey, look, let's get going. Come to Corydon, Indiana. Corydon, Indiana. Well, I had to bribe grumpy Mr. Magoo to do some actual work. Oh, him, yeah. Mr. Magoo, everyone stay safe. I must head out for a Facebook training class for social manners. Joe Ritchie. Really? All right, well, thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Let's see, where did this go off to? Oh, there it is. Let's talk to Joe at Holland Enterprises right here. Operators are standing by. Long length of haul, 1,500 miles. And everybody's got to eat, okay? So for a good place to work, Holland Enterprise. Thanks for being here today. I appreciate it. Let's see here. Seriously, I tell them, Clayton, and they act like I'm being extra nice. How old are you? Let me ask you how old you are. And sensitive, and the fleet manager calls in his company completely night and day with the treatment. He usually treats me like an adult. Exactly. Tell them, look, I'm not trying to be extra. That's what the kids say today. They literally do say that. It doesn't matter. Look. This is the thing about a job, I think. You're there to make a paycheck. That's it. Okay, they're not your friends. They don't come over for Christmas dinner or whatever, or give you presents or, none of that. You work there. That's it. And so I don't think I'm expecting too much to say, I want a truck that doesn't have 40 problems. And then if I point out problems, the FMCSA says once a motor carrier is notified of issues, they're not allowed to dispatch the truck until they fix them. Simple. Or they write down that it doesn't have to be fixed and it's available for safe operation after mechanics looked at it. If they're unwilling to do that, then we're going to have to escalate it. And that is part of the good thing of being at a larger place, that it can be escalated to people that will pound on the person's head and say, hey, you have to do the right thing here. And so that's all I'm saying. I'm not trying to be extra, and I'll do my job every day. They'd never see me if I never had any problems. I would just go do my job, and they never hear from me. When there's problems, I expect them to get fixed. That's all. That's it. Just fix my problem. Simple. Now, you can never, ever see the company you work for. Some good suggestions. Look, I do that here, and that's absolutely the case, right? KC is on a hiring freeze. Joan, I'll tell you, they're running ads. They've got ads in Evansville. I don't know what to say about it, but they're running ads in Evansville. Go to Craigslist Evansville and flip through there. They're running an ad. The Gold Picard Snow. Yeah, no thanks. My parkas are still packed away. So you tell them you want to go to Washington immediately, because I think in a week or so it's going to start snowing across, way up there. Drop the F-bomb till they put you in Facebook jail. Yeah, then you won't have to be on there. I don't know about you guys, but I'm trying to give up on reefer. Sick and tired of 8 to 12 hours detention, rude lumbers, and running reefer units to death. The reefer didn't bother me. It was like kind of Blues Brothers. When he picks up Belushi and they go to the apartment, right? And they're like, how do you sleep here? The place is shaking because the L train goes right by. He's already asleep, right? So a few degrees of that didn't bother me. And so that didn't bother me that much. There were long detentions, but you got to get paid. Just make sure you go to a place that pays you. And get longer loads. Andrew, I think that solves a lot of it. So when I would pick up in California or whatever in the Bay Area, really Ghirardelli, I had a load that went to Albany, New York. All right, so there wasn't a lot of waiting. There was the whole week. You had one load. That's why I like these long loads. You don't have a lot of detention because you're not being detained anywhere you're driving. So that's how I do the road. Mr. Beener, see you later. Enjoy the stream. All right. Well, thank you for being here. It's every Monday at 12:30 p.m. Mark, you're talking about coming through back the door and the manhole. Reminder: this is a family show. Well, look, I'm saying the manhole doesn't have a front door. That's what I'm saying. At the manhole, everybody comes in the back door. That's all. You just go around back and go in there. That's it. Pretty simple. You'll see when you get there. Remember? Don't you remember last week? Don't make me show up with a motorcycle shotgun and dark sunglasses. I'll be back. And I'm 34, Mark. Don't be a Karen. Okay. Well, extra. I just hear young people say extra. That's all. So, okay. Extra. I'm I'm only a few years beyond you, extreme upper 30s. But all I'm saying is you always have to protect yourself at every company, no matter how great it is. If they literally roll a red carpet out for you and then pick you up in a chair and 4 people carry you in there, protect yourself. That's all, because they can't deny things that are recorded either in photographic form or audio form. None of that can be denied. Check your state before you record some of what they say, but you can take pictures of whatever you want. Did you pick up Ghirardelli? Yeah, I was always a Ghirardelli picking up. I love Ghirardelli. I don't know if it was Lathrop. It seems like it was San Jose. That was a long time ago. Isn't it in San Jose? Did it move? I mean, this would have been in the 2000s, mid-2000s. Because they would always, so what they would do, this was years ago. So they made me wear a beard net, of course, and a hair net. And he would give me an extra hair net. And then at the end, you gave the guy the hair net, and they filled the little hair net up with the Ghirardelli squares. And so you'd get 40 of them or whatever, and they're like $1 a piece. And I always would say, I'm going to put these in the sleeper. And I would put them back in the sleeper, and then when I'm getting ready to leave doing my log, a paper log, I would go back and get them, and then before I got the sparks, I'd eat them. So they'd be gone. Delicious. I don't know if it just seems like it was in San Jose. Made Flanders blush. To one of my guys who had a mirror fall out of his truck that I couldn't get it replaced to take another truck. He was like, but my truck, but your wallet. Yeah. No, mirrors have to be on the truck, I think. Our company doesn't pay DOT fines. Yeah, because, I agree. They don't pay them here for me either because I'm not getting them. I mean, something like, where the truck is not going to pass an inspection. Certainly, look, a blown axle seal isn't out of service. The DOT says anything that could cause the truck to have a breakdown, you're not allowed to dispatch the truck. That's the FMCSA regulation. I put that on there, right? So an engine light, in my opinion, could cause the truck to break down. And so until that's either fixed or looked at, the truck doesn't go anywhere. So, that's the thing. But the blown seals and 3 lights on the dashboard and stuff, that doesn't work. Just saw teal GP Transco US 30 in Douglas Road in Oswego. It's probably headed back to the terminal, right? It's right up the street. Yeah, mirrors seem like they're essential. Like asking to clip something to the trailer or running over a 4-wheeler. Do not run over 4-wheelers. Do you ever see any other teal trucks? No, I saw your truck, and no. There's some white Volvo that runs out here for GP Transco that I see, but I assume it's an owner-operator. It's got a big brush guard on the front of it or whatever. I see that truck a lot, pulling GP Transco trails. For some reason, I see it at the Love there in, I don't know what that's, Newcastle or whatever that is, in New Lisbon, whatever it is on 74 down there. That's where I see that truck a lot. Seeing more GP Transco trailers with disc brakes on them. They also have new Volvos. Are the teal Cascadias? No, I think they're still getting teal trucks, and they did say they're ordering all their trucks with discs, which a lot of companies are going to. I agree. I mean, they put them on cars for a long time, so way better braking and so easier fixing, right? Just slap a pad in there. I'm all for it. I haven't driven with discs yet. I keep looking for trailers with discs. Can't find one. So I'm waiting to get a disc trailer to give it a try. But I would love if the trucks in that were disc. Here, they probably cost more, so that's why they don't do it. If they don't like you, they fine you for not making your bed. Yeah, not here. Does anyone get those teal socks? Yeah, there was a driver on here that did get his socks delivered to him. Passed by Ghirardelli near Stockton. It's not in Stockton, though. It was right on the coast. You'd go, because I had to go through, like, SF, right? Down through there somewhere, across a bridge. It's so long ago. I'm off for a great show. Stop hanging the crank handle up on dropping the trailer. Yes, do not hang the crank handle in the handle. Please let it just hang free. Let it just droop and hang. GP Transco just bought a bunch of 2022s. I know they're all digital. They have a video about it. All the new trucks and trailers have discs. Yeah, great idea. Safety, probably easier for the mechanics. My guys have assigned trucks, but we don't have a shop. We're tiny. I wish I could hire a mechanic. Okay, well, look, that's fair. I don't mind if they have a shop or not. That doesn't bother me. But, if my truck has problems, I'm just asking that the company fix it. That's all. I don't think that's too much to ask of a company. If they have the money to put a company... Look, in that truck, that truck that I've yet to drive had a camera in it. Okay, so I'm like, well, you got money to put a camera in the truck. Okay, you got money to fix this truck. How about that? So they're like, oh, your cameras. I go, yeah, if you got money to put a camera, you got money to fix an axle seal. So let's get that done. Like Stewie said, right? You got money for fake mustaches. Okay, where'd you get your fake mustache money? Just brakes at air rider mandatory if you want to go full length here. Okay, they're not here yet, certainly. George Wilson's out. Have a good week, Mark. I just called him but got her voicemail. Joan Harper. Yeah, go look that ad up before you call him back so you know what you're saying. But they're running ads in Evansville. They cannot have this hiring freeze this long. No way. If you get a disc trailer and want to test it, make sure no one behind you will stop in half the time. Some of them had signs when they first came out. Hey, stay back. This trailer stops immediately. That's what happened with cars, too. You know, when we went to discs and cars, and you get out of a car that's got drums, like the Sonic, right, I have rear drums in that, and then the Escape, it's all discs, boom, you're like through the windshield immediately. I'd like an account with some volume discount. I would like a volume discount on that, please. Let's see here. Oh, right, I had to do this. Oh, don't forget also, because I have to head out of here. If you're going to wear it, of course, make it appear it naturally. Let's see. Holland Enterprises is always available for drivers, good drivers. They need some good drivers over there. Fleet Nav Systems was here today. Thank you for being here today. Cash is King Trucking, of course, here today. Go over there and check him out. He had a video today, which I'm going to go watch in a moment here. And then I'm going to go to work. And don't forget about Jay. Jay was not here, but Jay will be on his channel doing auto transport stuff that I don't know anything about. Thank you, The Crotchless Pig, for all clothing for all occasions. Thank you for sponsoring today's show. And if you want, go check out the podcast. I'll have a podcast. Should be up tomorrow. Go subscribe to it, and then it just downloads, and you can just listen to it whenever you want. That's the best way to do podcasts. That's how I do mine. And also subscribe to Car Talk Podcast. I love it. Those guys are hilarious. So let's see. I was trying to get on GP Transco. They said they're fading Volvos out and going through Cascadius. Insurance said no go. Huh, really? I don't know. They're pretty strict over there, but I don't know what your record would be, and they won't tell me anything, certainly, which they certainly shouldn't. So that's certainly the case. The Hool. I want to thank the Hool for being here today, and Trucker Hershey. I appreciate you coming in. Joan Harper, it's good to see you today. George Wilson, thank you for being here. Mergel Barrett, thanks for coming in. Send a picture of that truck over whenever you get it in. Al Johns, thank you for being here and keeping everyone under your thumb and management there, crushing everyone's dreams and souls, as management does. Look, I'm glad to have a driver in management, believe me. Kelter Rooster Travels, it's good to see you. Stan Dowd. Roger Penske was here today. Andrew Hurricane, thank you for being here. Let's see, where did I go off to here today? Oh, so Gold Picard was here today. Mr. Beener. Mr. Beener, I love it. Kevin was here today. Clayton, Joe Ritchie, as I said, came in today. Dave Johnson, thank you for being here today. But they're going to make me come in today, unless they fired me, which I'll let you know. Sanders Turner, thank you for being here today. Traveling Rider, thank you for being in. All I'm saying, protect yourself. That's it. Protect yourself. Always protect yourself. Mr. Crowley, possibly Sam, thank you for being in here. George Costanza. And let's see, where did this go off to today? Okay, so I have to do that. I want to thank everybody for being here. Listen to the podcast. There'll be more videos, suggestions. And if you like the podcast, if you don't like it, let me know what you think about it either way, what you want more of, what you want less of. Maybe you think it's great. You don't have to look at me. I only come to you through your ear hole, which is usually better for people. So either way, listen or not, thank you for being here. But I'm headed out to work.